Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to part two of Spectrum Squad. We are going to try to get this. I think if most of the folks, I just got a high wind warning, and most of our people who aren't on the West Coast are under a variety of different kind of weather conditions. Govan just lost power, so we're going to hope that the weather gods are with us tonight. Hey, before I steal all the thunder, SJ, why don't you kick us off?
So we're gonna be playing Spectrum Squad. It's Henshin, a Sentai RPG, kind of a Power Rangers flavored TTRPG. There is no dice rolling. It's an exchange of tokens. So it's very narrative. I am SJ Sidekick. I am going to be the narrator for this campaign. This is episode 2. If you missed episode 1, it is on the YouTubes, uh, T plus content. And yeah, you can mainly only see me here because I don't stream. So tough.
Hi, I am 98 Tough Love, or Tough or Torf for some other nickname. You can find me at twitch.tv/98 Tough Love. I play a variety of games. Sometimes I run games. I'll be running my ongoing Masks campaign on the 26th of February. So that'll be good. You can also find me on Twitter at 98 Tough Love, which is typically just me retweeting when I'm going to be here. And I am playing Liv, who is the Red Ranger, bit of a hothead. Very quick to just charge into situations without thinking about it. Golvian.
Govan is on
You're
mute.
muted.
I hear you.
Go with that.
Okay, there we go.
I am Govan or Govan88. I am playing Liam today. And yeah, just having a lot of fun. Hopefully, no one dies. Over to you, Oak.
Hey everybody, I'm Oak. I'm the Black Ranger, and I like to solve things the most straightforward way with my incredible muscles. And I am played by me, Chev. I hang out on the internet, I play games, and I listen to music. So if that sounds like something, a place you would like to go and chill, then come hang out with me. And also, I have been playing in some of the various games and might be helping run a game in the future. So so stick around on the C Plus Content channel. Over to you, Jesse.
Yes, hi. I'm Kelly. My fair Kelly. I'm playing Jesse today. Jesse's a bit of a wild card. It's supposed to be the heart of the group, but they've had a bit of a different life. So what the heart means a couple different things, it seems to them. But I'm a streamer on Twitch as well, bit of a variety streamer. The channel's going through some growing pains, but we do play D&D there sometimes, so go ahead and check that out as well. And you can find me here all the time on C Plus content. And yeah, back to Michael.
Yeah, and I am Zero or Zero Daylight. You can find me here a couple times a week. You can find me sometimes over on Kelly's channel, or sometimes like Wednesdays, usually on Duck's channel, Duckwork, or on Sundays when it's not sports ball day, on the Juices TV program and the Listen To channels when we do kind of similar stuff. I am playing Magnus, who is humble. He's supportive. He's a real listener, right? Not he's kind of unassuming. He's a little bit shy, but maybe this time he'll have a chance to show, like step forward a little bit and maybe take a little bit of the spotlight. Yeah, no, he's a total ass. I mean, for real, but that's fine.
All right. So, who's gonna give the breakdown of what happened last episode? Because a lot happened.
Yeah, I can do that. I listened to half of the show at work the other day. So last time on Spectrum Squad, we met up with 4 of the Rangers, who had discovered that they had these crystals. They didn't really think much of them until one day they were all touching them around the same time and suddenly got teleported into a strange alien ship thing. There they met Talos and Aces, who Talos, his civilization was destroyed by a group called the constellates. So Talos basically warned us that there is an oncoming threat of these consulates and that the stones that we had found were full of immense power, and we could use them to transform into something greater than what we could normally be. We teleported back home. Liv and Liam briefly met up for lunch and saw Magnus, who was watching them very obviously. Meanwhile, Jesse and Oak were outside. Jesse was speaking with their friend Theo, I keep calling him Leo, and told him basically that they had found the stone and that the stone had great power, which was maybe a mistake. Then we received a call from Aces telling us that it was time to suit up and head to the nearest threat. So we didn't suit up. We just went to the threat, plain clothes. Started fighting a bunch of robots. Jesse was the first to transform. Magnus showed up as the Gold Ranger to start kicking some butt. We managed to defeat the mechs, but the true villain managed to get away. She escaped as Magnus was trying to chase her down.
Well,
What?
I had to let her escape to save you.
Look, we were handling it perfectly well. Everything was going great. We definitely weren't getting our butts kicked because we didn't figure out how to use squad moves. It's fine. It was episode 1, growing pains. Don't worry about it. We managed to defeat the mechs, completely destroyed all of them. We went into Magnus's ship, and then wound up getting teleported back to
Because
Aces and Talos because
someone
someone had to act like we were dying. Eventually, Magnus showed up as well and kind of explained the situation about being from the primordial race. Talos was a little bit uncertain about that. Aces was super fascinated and wanted to ask him any questions. But the team wound up going back to their respective homes. Jesse received a call saying that the lady that escaped earlier, Lelena, had captured Theo. Jesse promptly hung up on her. And yeah, she hung up 3 separate times. Jesse contacted Aces, got teleported there, and then wound up teleporting to Liv's to ask for help figuring out what to do. We gathered the rest of the team, ultimately decided that we would take some rocks from Jesse's father's collection and use those to trick Lelena into thinking that she actually had the stones. We sent Jesse in alone with the stones to complete that plan. Jesse did that and then managed to maybe convince Lelena that they were actually betraying us. So Lelena poofed off with Jesse while the rest of us suited up to try to go in to save Theo. It's great.
Theo Redshirt. That's his last name. Just so it's clear.
Yeah,
Theo plot device Redshirt.
Theo's been through some stuff as Lelena definitely took out her anger on poor Theo when she was hung up on 3 separate times.
Liv may also kill Jesse if anything happens to her little sister. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, the little sister that saw Jesse teleport in front of her. Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
So you start this episode and you guys have teleported onto the roof of the facility. You're already morphed, ready to go, but immediately alarms are blaring because the surveillance, like they were expecting you guys to show up. They weren't expecting this to be a smooth exchange, you know? So alarms are blaring. There's 2 large mechs outside the front doors. There's one in the back. And then everything else is inside. What do you do?
So did we have a plan when we came in? Like,
You certainly spent some time making up a plan, but I think the plan was basically grab Theo, chuck him outside, and get him to safety.
yeah.
Yeah.
So are there any
Well, grab him, bring him back up to the roof or outside the energy field surrounding this facility so that we can teleport him.
Yeah. So I think the plan was to enter through the roof
Yep.
to get inside to get to Theo as quickly as possible.
Yep.
I have a question. Does the fact that we all just beamed ourselves onto the roof of like basically a combat zone, does that count as us all confronting danger? Like as a squad?
I mean, you're missing one person, but everybody present. I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
Wouldn't say
sure.
we technically have confronted it yet, though. We just arrived.
You gotta,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you haven't done anything yet. You just
Okay,
showed
but
up.
once we do.
Yeah.
So are there like doors visible or like
Yes.
any kind of entry from the roof down?
There's a front door, and then there's probably a back, garage style type door. Two in the front, one in the back. You might be able to figure out a way to get down from the roof, but you might have to destroy some stuff to do it.
Yeah, we're going through the roof.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't.
That was
We got to do those action moves and those jump and twirls.
Push poor Theo.
It's fine. How tall is this building?
It's tall. It's tall.
Okay. Unless he's directly underneath us, taped to the ceiling, he'll be fine.
No, like I said, he's standing in the middle of the facility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now.
Is this more of like a hangar or is it like a office building with multiple levels?
It's more like a hangar.
Okay.
I will
Canadian.
pull out the sword of the first son and carve a hole in the ceiling.
All right. What you gotta tell me what kind of move you are using?
I'm performing brilliantly to
character.
an unnecessary magnitude. So all this like, oh, we could sneak around, and I just like shing sword and then just do a stupid like crouch down spin around in a circle, kicking up sparks.
Perfect.
And then leap back as this perfectly circular portion of the ceiling falls down and crushes one lone mech.
Cool. So one of the drones gets squished. All the other drones immediately go into, high alert mode and are looking up through the hole. And now you just got people firing up at this hole.
Cool.
Awesome.
Who else wants to take a turn?
Uh,
I want to do a frontward high triple axle, whatever you call it, the flip, and land
Yeah.
with a 3-point stance.
Cool. What kind of move is that? Light turn, regular turn, heavy turn?
That is a light turn.
Which one? So whenever you're taking a turn, tell me what kind of turn it is, which bullet it is, and then describe what you're doing.
Well, I failed to react and ignore the important things around me, and I just jumped down the hole.
Cool.
And try to look pretty.
I'll accept that.
I think Liv will take a light turn to let her temper cloud her judgment because she absolutely hates when Magnus shows off. She's like, we could have figured out a different way in, but fine, whatever, and just jumps in the hole. 3-point landing next to Liam.
Let me see. So I was originally thinking of taking a light turn, frighten another with an impressive feat, but I had a question to SJ. Are these robots, drones, are they frightenable? Do they have emotions?
No.
Okay. Well, that's out then.
I mean, maybe they have a tiny bit, kind of like Star Wars style droids where they have a tiny bit of personality, but not really. They're kind of just like,
They have threat assessment.
Programming of
They have threat assessment algorithms, and you can do something impressive that has them go, oh.
Okay. In that case, I want to say that light turn, frighten another with an impressive feat. Oak did not notice when Magnus was gonna do his his circle spinny cutty move, and he had been over wrestling with some of the the vent work and the equipment on the top of the roof. Had been trying to figure out is there some way that I can tear this vent out and then we could go down through there, and then he hears the zing chunk as the the circle like falls out under Magnus. So he looks over and he's like, oh. So he turns back and he finds like, I would imagine that like this, like, you know, they don't really send maintenance up here all that often. So there's probably like, you know, like a light air conditioner or something like that, that Oak goes over and he just gets under it. And like, you know, he was supposed to do leg day today, but it wasn't yet leg day. So he just uses the power of his superb glutes and just like rips the air conditioner off its foundations and kind of tips it over into the hole, and then like it falls down into the hole and onto like where some robots are standing.
This is before
this
or
is-
after Liv and Liam jumped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like,
Uh,
we're standing right there.
I mean, you'll frighten us, like
Yeah.
crushing us with the air
Right.
vent.
It is like, how big is this hole? Like, I don't know how much direction you have to be able to aim a huge air
It's
conditioning
probably a
unit.
10-foot diameter, 8 to 10-foot diameter.
Okay.
So how about like he did not really think that far ahead, as far like he was probably too
Yeah, that's
engrossed
the memo
in
of this team.
in flexing and getting this thing out of like just breaking the brackets that were holding it down, and he didn't really see Liv and Liam jumping down. So like he goes over to tips it, and it's then right as it's tipping over that he realizes, wait, where's the other two? But it's too late by that point.
This is where we die.
And he calls out, look down below.
Gonna kill you.
You're right.
You're super
Heads
powered.
up! Boom.
We'll say it probably lands right between Liv and Liam and scares the crap out of you. Like, what the hell? Like, watch what you're.
Dude, what are you doing? You trying to get us killed?
I was trying to scare them.
Yeah, you did
Did
a
it
real
work?
good job scaring
Scaring
somebody.
robots. How do you scare a robot?
I don't. Well, I mean, like it's everything's like afraid of a really, really heavy thing falling on them.
Will you
like,
just
that's
get down here and help us punch things?
So,
Okay.
you
How
guys.
far down is this hole?
I mean, it's quite a jump. This is, like I said, this is a tall ceiling, so it's gonna take some effort to. You don't want to just like, if a normal person jumped down, they'd probably break
Yeah,
something.
but we got our suits on.
You guys
40
are more,
40 feet.
so
Yeah.
you're fine.
Oh, did we morph in? Did we come in
Oh, yeah.
already
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
transformed? Oh, okay. Yeah, in that case, yeah.
mistake again.
I mean,
Yeah, so
you
even
guys
if the air
probably
conditioning
tried
did
to go
fall up
in
on
without
it,
being
it-
morphed. And I'm like, this time, you guys should probably morph before we hit the hot zone. Just saying.
They learned
That's
from
true.
last time.
Aces
You guys
did yell at us.
specifically said,
Yeah.
Yeah, Aces yelled at us about that last time.
yeah. That's why I said everybody comes in no tokens this time, because
Got it.
and it's a new episode.
Yeah.
So because nobody chose any moves that are like, oh, take blows, whatever. A bunch of robots are just going to just ascend on, let's say, Liv and Liam, because you are the two that are down there by yourselves. So lucky for you, there is only one big mech inside. So the very large mech turns towards you. And since, Magnus already crushed one of them, there's nobody really in the way as far as smaller mechs, so it's got an open shot at you guys and just absolutely blasts the heck out of Liv and Liam. So you guys go flying into some random crates of just random parts and are kind of buried in some debris. And then we'll say the others are looking up at the hole and just kind of just firing aimlessly up at the hole, expecting more to come down because they saw an air conditioning unit fall down. So somebody else is clearly up there, and they are very afraid of that person and want to hurt that person. All right, what turns? Oh, and you guys probably, Liv and Liam, probably saw Theo for a second, before you just got blasted. But he is just standing kind of like in the room, afraid to move, frozen, that he's going to get blasted by a robot, not sure what to do, what's happening.
All right. Liv will look at Liam and be like, hey, focus on those robots. I'm going to go grab him before he gets murdered.
Oh.
And
Huh. So Liv is running over towards Theo.
yes.
This is after you dig yourself out of the
Yeah,
Yeah.
climb out of
debris.
the debris.
There's one of them Sailor Moon jumps out.
Yeah.
Just like,
What kind of move do you use to try to get to Theo and get out
so
of that debris?
it will be a regular turn. She's taking action and leaving herself vulnerable.
Okay.
So just digging out of the debris and just gunning it for Theo to get him out of the way. Trying to basically put herself between him and any damage that he's going to take. So, it's fine.
Just because. So I will activate Chains of Destiny. But instead of lashing out at the robots, they fling out of the pommel of the sword and wrap around Theo.
You are still up at top, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just kind of lean over into the hole, activate Chains of Destiny, like 7 like light chains just wrap around him. And then as I drop down, we're doing kind of a counterbalance thing. I'm going down and I'm hurling him like he's gonna catch some air out of the hole in the ceiling.
Theo doesn't die to robots. He dies because he splats on the roof.
I know it's not the same hole. So it just like it sucks him directly underneath me, and then we do this like pass in the air thing. And that is going to I'm going to then this is I think this is regular turn model the utmost finesse and expertise.
I would agree.
So I'm just trying to launch him like 50 feet above the roof, so he's fully outside the energy
God.
field, so that my mech can lock onto him and teleport him.
Okay.
So you just see the and then he goes
Theo
up and
is
there's
screaming.
shimmer
and
of
you did
gold
not-
and he's gone.
Did you just
You're
kill him?
thinking one of the mechs is like gunning for him.
Just as a mech was reaching out to grab him, just
Okay. Liv gets there like, what? Okay, that works.
You could have said something.
All right. Liam, what do you do? You're
well, since most of my strength typically is in my upper body strength, I have strong legs and arms. So what I'm going to display an agile fighting technique as my regular turn. And as I'm pushing myself out of the boxes, I jump up, do a frontward flip, and then drop kick 2 of the robots.
okay. I will say that that was also like kind of at the same time as Liv to where you were able to help get the stuff off you guys. All right, and then Oak, you are the only one left up top. You just watched Theo come out of the hole and fly 50 feet into the air, then suddenly get caught by Magnus's ship.
So that's strange, but I mean that's good, I guess. I'm gonna look around, and there's nobody else up here, no enemies up here on the rooftop. So I'm gonna jump down and just wade into the melee with Liv and Liam and Magnus, and I'm gonna regular turn. Reckless fighting technique. I'm gonna take my staff and I'm gonna like choose a robot that is like close to below the hole, and I'm gonna jump down wildly swinging my staff like as I'm coming down. And I'm trying to like use the weight of me falling to like just increase the damage that I'm gonna do to this robot as I fall.
Okay. You guys also notice Jesse. You don't see Jesse.
Yeah, Liv was gonna call that out next turn. Like, hey, where's our other teammate?
You're not sure where they are, but they're certainly not in this room. So Theo's gone.
I mean he's safe.
A big mech. Yeah. As long as gold isn't a traitor too, it's fine. So Big Mech is focused on Liam. So Big Mech is aimed at Liam, and it is taking aim right now at Liam. And then some of the smaller drones. So Liv, you've left yourself vulnerable to danger. You just have a bunch of mechs, just regular drones, coming towards you, and they are swarming you essentially. Then there's the bunch of alien drones that were shooting at the hole when Oak came through. And as he gets down, they're just continuing to just swarm him as well. And Magnus, you also have a nice group of
Good.
drones.
Yes.
So you each got problems right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I would. It's gonna get worse next turn. So you know, some of those were light, some of those were regular, but
Yeah. I think with Liv being swarmed, she's going to kind of do a repeat from the first episode, let them basically dogpile her and then use Nova Blast to throw them off and free herself so that she can get back to her team.
which kind of turn are you using?
Um, let's say that that's a heavy turn to face down danger without hesitation.
Okay. So once again, and luckily you got some distance, because you weren't next to Liam, you weren't next to Oak, you weren't next to anybody. So those drones swarm you, they get blasted back. So that takes care of quite a few of the drones. Who else?
Well, I take a regular turn to reveal a hidden talent, and I use Sonic Boom, which is where I can let out a very loud guttural yell, almost like a sonic boom, and it will knock them all, the ones that I'm facing, over.
Yeah, you have a couple drones, but your biggest concern is that heavy mech right now. That's it's locking onto you essentially right now.
Yeah.
So we'll say that took care of the smaller ones. Oak.
I'm a heavy turn, shake off a beating like it's nothing. After jumping down and taking out, I assume I probably like took out like one drone, but not as much as I was hoping with my downward slashing attack. I'm going to, or Oak is going to, like turn around and then look at the big mech that's in the room, and I assume that like, you know, the mech is probably firing at him. He's going to start running at the big mech, but Oak is basically just going to power through and take the hits, and going to try and get in close so that like, you know, taking the hits is enough of like a beating that he's not going to be able to attack and actually like damage, but he can at least like get in close and set himself up for doing something in the future.
Okay. And Magnus. So yeah, take your turn.
All right. So, is there some sort of central communication node, control interface, some sort of obvious target coordinating these robots, or power source?
You do notice that there is some sort of thing towards the back of the room, kind of like back corner, close to that garage door style entrance. It's not controlling the drones, but it does something.
All right.
It could just be to the facility, you know, some controls.
Yeah.
Might open some doors, you know.
But is it like a big machine with like lots of glowy energy kind of stuff, or is it just like a control panel?
More like a control panel. It's it definitely controls everything in this facility.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking for like something that might go boom. That probably will
Mhm.
not. All right, then I will take a regular turn and try to be a one-person army. So I will just sword out, just literally run around in a circle, just slicing through some of these smaller mechs, and then do a kind of one-handed cartwheel, lots of wushu stuff, kicking off mechs as I go, to place myself like flanking the big mech with, I guess, Oak.
So we have. All right, you're thinning out the mechs for sure, but there's still quite a few. So this turn, that big old mech is blasting Liam again. So Liam is getting hard targeted by this thing. It's decided to just focus on one target, and it is going. You also notice Oak and Magnus that it still has that same design of that power pack basically in the back, but there's a very shoddy, like extra welded thing on the back this time. Like it just took, instead of redesigning the mech, there wasn't time. Like someone clearly like just put a little extra protection with some not great welding on the back. So it might be a little bit harder to get to it without any kind of really hard hitting attack. Uh, Liam, so it is going to blast the heck out of you again. So you are basically right back into the debris again, and you're hurting right now. Let's see. One of the little drones is going to head towards that panel I was talking about, and they're going to hit a button, and that button's going to open up that garage style door, and another big mech is going to walk in, and then Liv, you were. Oh, right. You did the Nova Blast. So
Yeah.
you got rid of a bunch of them. They're kind of hesitant to get close to you now. But that heavy mech is now pointed towards you with long range weapons. The rest are looking at Magnus and Oak because they see it looking at the back of the big mech. So now what are your turn? You just saw Liam take a pretty big hit. He's probably, he's gonna need maybe some help getting up or something because yeah, nobody stopped the mech from smacking him.
Yeah, I'm going to regular action, leave myself vulnerable. I am going to, because like I had previously gotten myself like up close to the mech, and like I assumed that like other drones and stuff were shooting at me, but it was prioritizing Liam, and now I'm here. I have my opportunity, and I look over and like I was gonna try and do something else, but I look over, it's like, oh no, Liam's in trouble. Um, so I'm going to use a regular turn, and I'm gonna like reach up and try and yank the gun to the side, like right as like it's trying to blast at Liam, and it's gonna completely expose me. Like probably anybody could come and get a hit on me if they wanted to, but I want to try and like just take this moment and just like basically like take like help Liam not be in danger.
Okay, cool. Which will let Liam take a turn as well. Like if you're helping him out and up. Let's see who else. Maybe got a big mech staring
Yeah.
at you. Magnus and Oak, or Magnus, you're staring at the back of one that's looking it's looking for a different target now, but it's probably going to find Oak because now Oak is running right in front of it.
Yeah, I think what I'd like, because Oak is tough, right? And these things, based on prior experience, explode
Yes.
when they're badly damaged enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I will take a heavy turn, take a devastating blow without flinching. But I'm translating that as with the one big mech distracted by Oak yanking on its arm. I'm going to run and leap up with the Sword of the First Sun and drive it into that welded panel, and then kick off and leave the sword there so that its density just pulls it down the body of the mech. And then I assume it's going to blow up. Sorry, Oak.
Yeah, it'll explode. So I take that back, Liam. You're still in the debris. So yeah, that mech is gonna explode. It's gonna blast Oak. It's gonna hit you, but you're fine from it. Yeah, you took it really well.
Hunker down.
Braced for it.
I think Liv is looking at everything that's happening and especially seeing the mech that is now aimed at her. She's going to take a regular turn and kind of like duck behind a pile of robot bodies that's left behind from the Nova Blast. So she's going to take a regular turn to react.
I mean, they let's say you took cover behind some crates or something.
Yeah, sure. Whatever's
definitely
I wasn't
exploded,
sure if there's like
and there's
anything
not really
in the room,
enough.
but yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of a
works.
warehouse style. There's some random stuff around.
Yeah, she's just trying to get out of line of sight for at least a second, while everybody else blows up.
Okay. So Oak is down. Liam, basically your turn is probably going to be you digging yourself out and getting back up. Magnus is okay as always, and then Liv, you're taking cover. So what happens now is all of those drones are going to see what just happened, and they are going for Magnus. Because the other two are down, you're taking cover. The big mech is also looking towards because it sees Liv just ducked behind some cover, so it just sees it turns and there's another target, and it's looking at Magnus. So everybody is looking
drawing
at Magnus
aggro.
right
That is my plan.
now. And there really aren't that many drones left. That's what you notice. There are still two big ones outside, but they're in the front door, and that is not like a lift up door.
Is that one drone still sitting by the control panel?
Yes,
Okay.
but that front door is not one of those that's like, you can open with a push of a button. It's just more your traditional double doors. All right, so Magnus, you took that devastating blow, but now you're about to take quite a lot because that mech is going to use its heavy turn and hit the crap out of you with the blast since Liv took cover. And then all the other drones are, once you get blasted back, heading to try to keep you down, basically.
Yep.
All right. What does everyone do? Liam, you're good now. You've taken a moment. Oak, you're down. Liv, you're in cover.
Is the mech that just shot Magnus, is it like still outside or has it like started to step in?
It's taken a couple steps inside.
Okay, cool. Is it maybe potentially positioned underneath the door?
Sure.
Cool. So, I'm gonna spend my last token to face down danger without hesitation and run to that control panel, smack that button, and try to crush it with the door.
So you expect something really great to happen and that door to have super amazing force. Yeah. It goes and it's on the mech and the mech is like, and it kind of like, it's going down, it's just stuck on the mech, and the mech just takes a step forward and it kind of breaks the door. But it is distracted and it's like, what?
At least it's distracted for a second.
The safety system kicks in when it hits the mech and it just starts going back up.
Did you destroy the drone on your way, or is that drone still there?
Yeah, I
like,
think
trying to hit the
probably
button
what
back up?
happened is like Liv punched the drone into the button and so
Okay,
pushed
nice.
the button with like the drone's head or something.
It'd just be funny if you pressed it and then he's like, no.
Yeah, and then the drone presses it again. That's probably what happens is it's me and the drone fighting over the button for a
Until you
second, and I
smash
just
it into
like
it.
smash
Yeah.
it into the control panel.
All right, so that drone is now probably gonna fight you because it's not quite destroyed, but you smashed it into it. Because if it was destroyed, it would have blown up.
Yeah.
Everybody
else has gotten blown up. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Magnus, you are swarmed right now. Liv used that turn to do that. Liam, what do you do?
Since she's distracted the larger mech with her fiasco of the door not actually crushing it, I run up from behind and pull out my hand axe and my little hammer, and I just go for where that panel was on the back of this one, and just like stab it in the back and just like hit it with a hammer and chip off that panel that was welded on the back of the other mech.
Okay, you're gonna have to do some squeezing because that thing's like in the door, basically. So you're gonna have to like,
Sorry, I'm thinking of like garage door is what I'm thinking.
it's a big mech. That's you know. So it's like think of the size garage doors where like the trucks back into, like that size.
I was just thinking like maybe like it was facing towards her where the button was, and the back was like towards us. That's what.
Kinda. You can get to it. We'll say you could get to it. So you do that. You kind of you get the welded panel off, but it's still got its regular paneling. And then Oak, you're gonna need to take a turn to just like get yourself back up and back in the game because that hurt quite a bit. And Magnus, you're probably gonna need to.
So it's a dog pile of drones just leaping on, and then
basically, you got blasted by the mech,
Yeah.
and now they're all like trying to keep you down and just like
right.
Yeah.
And there is a shimmer of golden light from deep in the dog pile, and then the dog pile kind of collapses a little bit as I disappear in the face of danger.
Yeah. All right, so you guys now have a bunch of drones that are looking for a new target. So it's probably going to look at Liam, who's attacking the big drone. And that big drone is probably going to fire towards Liv. Because now it didn't do anything last turn, so this turn it gets to the kill blast again. No, wait, it did do something last turn. I was thinking your turn was.
Oh.
So this turn it was distracted by the door and the panel, and it's now looking at Liv.
And it blasted the crap out of me last turn.
Yeah,
so.
it did. Yeah. I lost track of the turns. Okay. And the drones are probably looking at. Yeah, they're probably going towards Liam to get him off of the big guy. What do you guys do?
Liv is going to yell at Liam, "Get away from it!" and use a light turn to fail to react and suffer the consequences, but she's trying to jump up onto the back of the mech and use her nunchucks to wail on that panel in the hopes that the mech gets destroyed and she'll just take the explosion and deal with it.
You do some damage to the back panel because he took off the additional welding panel, but there's still the actual like covering because last time you guys had to do some significant, like I think Jessie had to use her special weapon to get it off.
So she's at least just trying to do some damage to expose it, and then throwing herself at the mech probably makes her obvious target, and she's too busy like wrapped up trying to get it destroyed to pay attention to what's going on.
You will hear over your primitive wristbands a familiar voice say, "You might want to take cover. 10, 9, 8.
All right, Liam, what are you doing?
I am.
I mean, Liv already used her turn, so she is stuck on
Yep.
a Big Mac. Liam, what are you doing?
Well, even though I hear this, I
Well,
do what's
and to be
best for.
clear, I'm spending a heavy turn to summon my mech, so that I don't
Okay.
get to do anything else this
This turn.
turn. It's
Okay,
next
cool.
turn. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
So I take a light turn and do what's best for someone when they wouldn't agree, and I grab Liv off of this mech and start running with her over my shoulder.
It's actually a really good thing you did that. Okay, Oak, what do you do? You're up again.
I'm going to. I'm looking at my light turns, and none of them really apply here. I'm going to hear that Magnus told us all to take cover, and I'm going to listen. I look around and see, like, I'm not sure what I need to take cover from, but, or like, what the specific danger is going to be. But I would imagine we already destroyed one big mech, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna like, I picked myself up out of the rubble, like some rubble and robots and stuff fell on me, and I had to like work my way out. And eventually, it was just a question of like finding leverage so that I could just brute force my way out and just be like, ugh. But once I do that and I hear Magnus, I look around and I see like there's like, okay, table flimsy, chairs no protection, mech wreckage, and I like sprint over and like slide in under like where part of the body like wreckage is kind of like overhanging the floor, and I like slide in under it, and I'm
Okay.
taking cover there.
So Magnus used this turn to summon the mech. So this turn for the big mech, it was going to blast the crap out of Liv, but luckily Liam went and grabbed her. So instead, I'm going to have somebody else show up. So there is you hear a loud rumbling and you're like, oh, that's Magnus's mech. But it's not Magnus's mech. It's a futuristic spaceship looking thing with it looks like a gunship. So that's coming, and it is just arrived. And meanwhile the large mech went to go aim for Liv and Liam, and it's basically firing at your heels. And all the
3,
smaller drones are a little confused as to why you guys are all suddenly running away, but they're chasing after you.
2. So the big mech is still relatively close to that door, right?
Yeah.
All right. So there was a very loud squealing sound as the tip of my ship pierces through the door and the mech, as I just take this sword-shaped spaceship / mech and slice through a good half of the building. So kind of like a low sweep, just grinding that mech into parts and then slicing back up through the ceiling. So that it's a heavy turn. I'll call it reveal a never before seen power, since no one's ever seen that ship cleave through a massive building.
Yeah, and you guys can hear the faint screaming of Theo inside.
Actually, you see out the window, he's like, what's happening?
You told him to put his seatbelt on, and he did not listen.
Right, he's flung up
He's
against.
got like these these robotic handcuffs. It's like, oh my god, what's happening? And so you just go through that mech, it explodes. You go through and back up the ceiling. There are still 2 big mechs outside, and when you come up, you see that there is a gunship looking at you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that gunship, and it also has a nice view because the ceiling's open as well. If it were to choose to lay down some suppressing fire. You also killed a bunch of drones in that attack because, of course, some were in the way, naturally.
Yeah.
So there's really like only a handful of drones left right now. Through the rubble, though, you can you hear some kind of mechanism moving as one of those drones was back by that control panel again. Weird. And they hit another button, and another couple of large mechs come up from the ground. So you have two outside, two inside that came up from something from below. But for a second, let's just jump back in time as to what was happening with Jesse. So Theo saw it all, but no one asked him what happened. So Theo saw that she let Lena hit a button, and it basically just opened a small compartment underneath that staircase that led down into the sort of underground tunnel system. And so they just walked down there together. But as soon as Jesse was ahead of her, she basically knocked her out from behind, and with her on the ground, it's like, that's what you get for hanging up on me 3 times.
Karma.
She might have bought into the, oh, I totally want to join you. You're a queen. Yes. If she hadn't been hung up on previously 3 times, because that didn't quite match up. So, Jesse in this underground tunnel system was taken off somewhere while all your fighting was going on. And since nobody discovered that, she's taken. Nobody explored the panel to see what buttons opened what, or or asked Theo where they were.
I'm getting to it.
Yeah, I could have if somebody
have
had
time.
whipped him off into the middle of nowhere.
It's fine.
Yeah. No, it's fine. So now you guys have 2 big mechs. The large mech blew up, so luckily it didn't hit anybody. You guys are all in the rubble, like taking cover. There's only a handful of drones left. So what do you do? The gunship is firing on Magnus, so it's going to use its heavy turn to lay quite a bit of damage into your ship, basically.
So we saw another drone head over to that control panel. Yeah, because it summoned the mechs.
Yep.
Cool.
You don't know if that's it or if there's more or what, but
Yeah,
they came from somewhere.
Liv doesn't like that it keeps bringing mechs into the fight, so she's a little bit pissed off at it. So she's basically going to like rip herself out of Liam's grasp to run back to the control panel. I think this would maybe be heading into danger without your squad. Kind of ditching everybody to go mess with this control panel again.
Sure, I mean, yeah, there's 2 big robots and you're going after this one little drone.
Yeah. So that's what she's doing. She's going to the control panel and trying to just taking that drone and just
There's also
slamming
a gunship. You can hear firing going on from above and maybe even see it through the
whatever.
exposed
It's
feeling
really-
of like, Magnus, he's got Theo in the ship with him. He just took some heavy shots.
if it
It might be useful to have some help, but
you look. If it takes Magnus down a peg, it doesn't really care.
with Theo aboard.
Yeah, you know what? We got him out of there. That was my goal. It's not my fault that Magnus got in the way of my rescue plan, which there definitely was one, for sure. Yeah, so just heading straight for that control panel and just doing a repeat of taking that drone and just slamming it repeatedly into the control panel. Like, why do you keep doing this?
All right, Liam, what do you do?
So I assume when we got back, we asked how to call our mechs.
Yes, you do know how to call your mechs.
Okay. So now that there's a gaping hole in the side of the building, I decide to run towards that and using a heavy turn summon my mech when danger has escalated.
Cool. Oak, what do you do?
So Oak, after like dashing under the wreckage of the first big mech, he saw Magnus's ship just like slice through the whole building, and it takes him a second. Like he's just kind of in awe, like, oh. And then he kind of like shakes out of it, and he looks around him at like, this would normally be like an actual place of work, and so he's going to hope that Theo is somewhere near Magnus and can respond, and he's going to bring up his communicator, and he's going to shout into it. This is a light turn. Ask someone, who have I failed to protect? He's going to be asking Theo, like, basically just shoutcasting it to the whole group, but asking like Theo, was there anyone else in the building but you, Jesse, and the person who kidnapped you? Like, did you see anyone else here who might have gotten hurt by whatever we're doing?
Also, where's Jesse?
Yeah. Also, where's Jesse?
I don't know. It's just it's a bunch of robots. They all look like robots, and the purple lady, she went with Jesse somewhere, and I don't know.
Wait, what?
I don't think anybody else was here.
Wait, she went with the purple lady?
Yeah, she didn't even want to save me, man. She said that she would have done worse to me, and that I don't know. She was really mean. I thought she was here to save me, but that she went with the purple lady.
At hearing this, Oak was probably like resting his hand on a piece of the robot, and there would be like some like one of those like airspeed tube sensors that are on like the front of planes, like some kind of like doodad or gadget or antenna or something on the outside of the mech, and he was like resting it, and even without even realizing it, Oak just kind of like crumples it in his hand and crushes it when he hears that Jesse presumably like betrayed them.
To be fair, it was part of your plan.
Yeah, that was but Jessica was kind of like
Oak was
"Ooh,
probably
that
not
actually
listening.
Well, like pretend. I feel like this has gone beyond like pretend to betray us, and it sounds like actual betray us.
I actually feel like this is more of like Oak was too busy, bench pressing weights to actually pay attention to the plan more than it was anything else.
She did go past the plan of like, dude, she's not here. She was not here to help you guys. And
it was supposed to be like she hands out the
it's
stones
fair.
while we bust in to keep.
Like this was not whatever the plan was. This is enough away from it that Oak is like, I am not comfortable with what's going on here.
Cool. That's everybody, I think, except Magnus. So.
I will take a light term to perform brilliantly to an unnecessary magnitude.
Poor Theo's gonna get sick.
He is. So cranking the inertial dampeners, or whatever, technobabble up to max. My ship is big, right? But I'm just zipping and swooping and swirling around, laying down enough fire to maintain the full focus of the gunship.
Okay.
But mostly just, staying a little bit out of reach, basically just taunting it. It's very fancy flying, by the way.
Of course, naturally.
And yes, Theo is suction cup Garfield up against the front window most of the time.
He can't even get a paper bag because his hands are so.
Right? And meanwhile, as I'm flying, where did they go?
Yeah, like underground somewhere.
Okay. Broadcast.
He's gonna try to say, under.
Right. He throws up a little drone, pops out and vacuums it up.
Oh, gross.
Because, we have to for continuity. Yeah. And then broadcast. They're under the facility.
Okay, so for the other turns, so you guys got two big mechs, and nobody really did anything with them. So they're gonna look at Oak. One is gonna go for Oak, and one is gonna go for Liv. Because they assume Liam's running off. They're like, oh, maybe he's just running away. So one of them is going to blast the heck out of Liv. Unfortunately, it does break the control panel as well, though. So there's just like a nice, electrical kind of explosion with Liv there into that control panel. And Oak, you've got that crushed metal in your hands, and then after asking that, and then this mech was taking aim at you the whole time, and now it's got its chance to just unload on you again. So you are just back in some more rubble.
Okay.
All right, and then there's a few little drones that are probably just haphazardly chasing Liam. All right, what do you guys? Oh, the gunship is just still firing at Magnus, but it's just tied up right now
Yep.
because it doesn't have a heavy token right now. So it's gonna just chase you around a bit.
Yeah.
All right, next round of turns.
Well, let's take care of that gunship real quick. So now knowing.
I mean, Liam also has his mech. Should have his mech now.
Oh yes,
and he should be able to help.
Yep.
Whether he helps with the robots or the gunship, we'll see.
Well, I'm happy to make that decision easier. So from the pilot chair, which just kind of, I mean, it's just like it morphs out of the golden floor into a seat. He will pull off the sword of the first sun and slap it back into that gold block to his right, powering up the ship, and activate the main gun, and just slice off the rear quarter of the gunship, specifically the engine section. I'm not looking to blow it up. I'm not looking to kill everyone on board. I'm just looking to slice straight through the engines.
Cool. So it is going to obviously have engine failure, and it is going to. Oh no! It is crashing down. Oh no! It's headed right for the facility.
That's fine. And because I didn't do it, heavy turn, reveal a never before seen power.
Yeah. So it is going to crash and kind of block Liv and Oak. Kind of make it hard for anybody to get to you guys, essentially. Really, it'll just split you guys up. We'll say that. So, like, Liv in one mechs on one side, Oak in the other mechs on one side, because there is a significant portion of the building missing. So.
Yeah.
All right, who else? Liam, you have your mech now.
Yeah.
And
Liv
what does your mech
down,
look like?
Oak is down, and these mechs are about to just fire on both of them.
Well,
So hopefully you can at least take out one of them.
since Liv is the only person besides Magnus and myself that actually does anything with intelligence, I'm going to try to protect her.
Wow.
Sorry, Oak.
Oh no.
You know, you got to protect the leader of the group. So I go after Liv and use my my mech, which is shaped like a dual orange sun. I decide to use the solar flare missiles and shoot out at the mech that's attacking Liv.
Cool. And it's enough distance. It's using long range weapons because it knows Liv has, that supernova blast. They're starting to learn. So it's not close enough to do significant damage when it blows up to Liv. Let's see. Oak, though.
Yeah. So
you're down.
yes. Wait. So can you remind me of the situation that I'm in right now?
So
Like what specifically?
You got blasted by the mech, and it's similar. Like you need a turn to like get back into the fight. So this is
Got
that
it, got
turn
it, got
that
it.
you need to get back into the fight. So basically, Liam had to choose between you and Liv, and he chose Liv, which he was probably closer to Liv anyway.
Probably the smart choice, honestly.
She also didn't throw air conditioner at me, so
Yeah.
I mean, there's that.
I mean,
Instead of getting out, can I do something else and like stay in the rubble but like take a different action? Or no, actually I'll just I'll spend a turn getting out of the rubble. That's it. So I guess that would be regular turn, take action.
yeah. So you are gonna get blasted by this mech again, because it used a turn to take aim at you, and then now it's wait, no.
It would have had to have blasted him this turn.
This turn, it's able to blast.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, because you had the chance. Okay. Oh yes. You used your turn to get back up, but you're alone, and it fires back at you, so it puts you right back into the rubble again. You are taking a beating. We'll even say like it's hit you so hard that you are unmorphed now. Like you need help.
Ooh.
Yeah. So what? How is it attacking me?
It's just like these kind of like energy blasts, basically.
Okay. Yeah, so it probably does that thing where like it's hitting me and like my helmet actually takes battle damage and you can it like part of the visor breaks away and you can actually if you were close up to me you could see part of my face like through the visor and like and event like I take a couple more hits and I like fall back on the ground next to the rubble that I just climbed out of and the suit like disappears and I'm just back in my gym clothes again.
And it's taken a second because it's got to cool down or it'll overheat. So it is charging back up to finish you off. Is going to be its next turn. But this turn, that ends those. There are two mechs outside that seem to be walking their way around.
Okay.
So they've just walked all the way around from the front towards the back where like all the holes and stuff are to get into the action.
Liv is going to run through that garage door since she just climbed out of the mess that she was in. She is summoning her mech and she's using the communicator to be like, Liam, get Oak. Like, he's in serious trouble right now, and you're the closest to him. I'll be fine.
Okay.
So use a heavy turn to summon my mech.
Do you have any heavy tokens left, Liam?
I do not. This is the question. It's like since we're in mech form, I don't know what.
It's narrative. So like, your mech has certain abilities. Kind of treat it like its own little mini kind of gunship, basically.
Okay.
But it's narratively, it'll probably take a heavy turn to destroy the mech. You might be able to get its attention though, to at least not fire on Oak.
Well, I think I think the best way to do this. So I'm gonna use light turn, and even though I was trying to protect Liv, I'm gonna overcommit myself to another cause to try to go save Oak.
Cool.
So I like put my mech in between myself and Oak and the other big mech.
Cool. Oak is licking his wounds right now. Is finding the strength to get back up. Magnus, you've destroyed that gunship. That gunship is in the middle. It seems like there is a lone drone that just popped out and is like looking at like crawled out of there. There's nobody living inside.
Okay.
But
Okay.
he's crawled out and stumbled out.
Huh. I think what I'd like to do is take a light turn to remind someone that they aren't good enough yet. Because I'm an ass.
Yeah.
But I'd like to flavor that by like either teleporting in to provide cover for Oak or popping him out. Like, you can't take another hit, man. So you tell me which makes sense.
Probably because he's still surrounded by all that high energy. It's a little less now, but it's still a little bit.
Okay,
So,
that I will just swoop in low. I mean, the ship doesn't land, and then eject out because this is practiced. Do a double flip in the air, land in front, and say, you can't take another hit. Get yourself to safety. Don't worry, we've got this.
And Theo's still screaming inside.
Like a jerk would. Yeah. And then turn around to face the baddies.
Cool. All right, I think that's everybody's turn. Liam, yeah, you overcommitted to the mech. So we'll say that mech is, I believe it's the only one left now, right? Besides the ones that just came in from outside.
Yeah.
So those mechs show up. Liv is calling her mech. They probably see. So you've probably put yourself between Oak and the mech. So that big mech is going to fire on you.
Yeah.
And then the other two mechs are probably going to fire at Liam's ship. So Liam, your ship is going to take some significant battle damage because both of those mechs unloading on it. There is that one lone drone that's still like, it just climbed out of the gunship. And it's like looking at the damage like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. And then we have, so Liam, your mech is going to take quite a bit of damage. You're probably going to lose the ability to go anywhere fast. Like your maneuverability is probably taking a big hit. We'll say that. And then Magnus, you are going to basically take that big hit that was going for Chev.
Yep.
So it is going to hit the crap out of you, and that is going to hurt. You're still up, though. It's you didn't take like two in a row like Chev did.
Super dramatic.
Yeah. All right. Next round of turns. You've got the two mechs. Now they're all recharging. So you got one mech. It's going to fire on Magnus again. The two that are still firing at Liam's ship. That if they do another round like that, it's probably going to take out Liam's ship. And then Liv, I think you just called your mech.
Yeah.
So Oak is able to get back on his feet as well.
Cool.
But he is unmorphed, so.
All right. So yeah, Liv is now in her mech. It's big satellite. The wings are spread out. She's gonna fly it over the gunship, and the panels are basically gonna turn in and create like a giant laser, like a concentrated laser between them, and fire directly at one of the mechs that was targeting Liam. So she's spending a heavy turn to use her weapon to drive off an opponent.
Cool. All right. So you're aiming at both of them or one of them? Because both will probably do some damage, but if you just aim at one, it'll probably destroy it.
Yeah, I think she's just targeting one and just trying to get that one to blow up.
So you take out one of those big mechs that's aiming at Liam's ship. Liam, what do you do? There's a mech looking at Magnus that you're looking at from behind that's going to fire on him again if it gets another turn.
Yeah. So,
or the one behind you that's going to fire on your mech if it gets another turn. So you going to save your mech or you going to save Magnus?
Well, I'm going to do what's best for someone, even though he probably wouldn't agree with me because he, thinks he can handle himself. And I'm going to go after the one that's attacking Magnus because I'm already facing that direction.
Cool. So that's a heavy turn, right? You should have a heavy turn from last round.
Well, we can call it a heavy turn. I was using the light turn to do what's best for.
Well, you can do a light turn. It won't destroy the mech.
We'll just do a heavy turn because I have a token, so that's fine.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So remain totally dependable under pressure. You have a mech that's about to shoot you down, but you're gonna.
Well, also proving that my role was anything but subordinate.
Yeah. So you take out that mech. Like it's charging up at Magnus, and then Magnus, you see it explode from being shot by Liam. But no, Magnus is getting up. Oak, what do you do?
Oak is he's picking himself up from where he got knocked down, and he's kind of holding his shoulder, he's clearly injured and not doing very great. But he looks up at everyone else who is doing their best, and he knows he has to get back in this fight. So he kind of like shakily like, and just like digs deep into his soul and like summons a last bit of energy and does the Spectrum Squad and transforms again as his heavy turn, and the black rocky suit materializes around him again, and he starts moving more like healthily and energetically. Like you can still kind of see, if you were looking at him, like his shoulders giving him trouble. He's moving a little bit creakily, but it's not as bad as it was. And so after transforming, he just like looks up and is just trying to figure out like what is his next move here. But that's his heavy turn.
Cool. So all of the mechs are destroyed except for one, and that's the one looking at Liam's ship. So it is going to fire on Liam's ship again, which is going to cause Liam's ship to go down. Not explode, not be completely destroyed, but you're grounded essentially. So your mech essentially, skids to the ground next to that other gunship. So you cannot use your mech at the moment unless it's, heavily repaired. And then other than that, there's really not many enemies left. There's maybe like a couple drones that can come out. There's four drones and then one that just climbed out of the gunship. That's all that's left. And that one that came out of the gunship is gonna, be trying to it's trying to like make a weapon out of the big gunship, essentially. Somehow try to get it to like aim somewhere. Not successfully, but it's trying. And then the others are there's like four left are gonna try to attempt to probably swarm over to Magnus and Oak. What do you guys do now?
So we have one big mech left, the one that just took out Liam's
ship. Yep, that's
ship.
the only one that's left, and it's recharging its guns right now. It is. We'll say it's looking at Liv's mech now.
I will look at Liv and say, "You got this."
Got this.
Okay. Then I will take a regular turn to display dazzling fighting technique and just go in and mop up the little ones.
Yeah, cool. So you'll get, those four, you'll just fight
Just
those four.
Slice.
Yeah, they'll all explode. You destroy them all. What else do you guys do? Oak, you're back in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
You just saw Liam crash, so you could maybe check on him.
Yeah. I'm gonna regular turn protect someone in need, so I'm just gonna go over and rush over to where Liam crashed, and I would imagine like if there are like drones and bots that are surrounding him, I'm gonna try and like just kind of bob and weave around and take out some of them, and basically I'm just trying to like clear a space and protect it so that like Liam doesn't get swarmed and has space to move.
Well, yeah, we'll say, maybe there's a couple drones that were like, going for the cockpit to, whatever. And that little drone is like trying to push the gunship guns to aim at Liam's ship, but it's struggling. It's getting it there.
Yeah, it got sliced into pieces though, so.
Well, no, the other four did.
Oh, okay.
He's like all the way off by the gunship.
Got it.
But he's just a lone little drone,
What bad could they do besides, that summoning of like 3 more mechs?
The control panel was destroyed at least because
yeah, it is finally.
So. If there are mechs downstairs, I mean,
yeah, it's fine. We'll get those when we go to rescue jet. So Liv's gonna come over the comms as she whips her ship around, and it's gonna take a light turn to head into danger without her squad to go face down that final mech, peppering it with little laser blasts from her mech. She's gonna be like, "You guys need to go figure out where Jesse is. They said below the facility. Figure out a way to get down there while I distract and destroy this thing."
What does Liv's mech look like though?
So it's a satellite, so it's got like the big satellite wings. Currently they are faced inwards, so it kind of almost looks like a TIE fighter, but with a longer body. And then the wings are kind of pointed more inward or concentrating a blast of laser energy. You can see the panels lighting up with red as they channel all of that energy into the laser.
Yep. All right. So you and the mech are basically just peppering each other. Neither's really doing anything because I think that mech is that mech still recharging? No, that
Yeah,
mech
because
would
it took
be.
down Liam's ship last turn.
Yep. Okay, you're right. So this turn it is recharging, and basically just getting peppered by some blows. And then that little guy is pushing the. It's very slow because he's not very strong. Like he's trying his best. It's gonna take him a few turns, maybe like 2 more turns. But he's trying. He's trying his best. All right, Liam. Let's say the oak got cleared a path for you. You can get out of your mech. You can stay in your mech.
Well, I'm gonna take a light turn and doubt myself on what I just did because I may have protected Magnus, but I in turn just took down my own ship. So at the same time, while using the ejection feature and like the cockpit like pops open and I like jump out.
Cool. All right. What else do you guys do? This
I
is a
want to
new
say,
round of turns.
yeah. That probably. Here's what I'm thinking: light turn, fail to react, and overexert. Oak would look over and realize, like, oh, he probably like notices too late that one drone was trying to drag the gunship's guns around, and like that is like the next most immediate threat. But in getting over to help keep the drones off of Liam, he put himself in like a really bad position, like uh geometrically, to like do anything about the mech that's trying to like use the gunship guns as a weapon. So he is going to just haul butt and just start sprinting as hard as he can, as fast as he can, to get over to where the drone is like messing around with the gunship guns. And this is like he's being really reckless here, just not even really thinking about like am I saving energy for later, am I watching out for like what the threats around me are. Just like, that's the most immediate threat here, got to get over to it. So he's just gonna light turn, spend his time sprinting over there.
Magnus, like you have a turn.
Yeah, and it's going to be another jerk turn. So I'm going to take I'm going to display dazzling fighting technique and just whirl the sword of the first sun around, and as it cuts this kind of disc of light, and then point it at the little lone mech who's like in vain trying to drag this thing, and just blast the crap out of it right when Oak shows up.
Perfect. And then Liv, I think you have a heavy token, and there's just that
Yeah.
one big mech left.
Yeah, so again, the panels are gonna like, because it's like black and then there's like red lines running through it, the panels are gonna turn red as it concentrates all of that energy into charging up one big laser that's right through the mech. So she is spending her heavy turn to use her weapon to drive off that final opponent.
So all of the enemies are down, even that poor lone little mech.
He just fades into little sparkling gold dust.
Yeah. So Jesse, we'll go back to you guys. So during all that time, since that was a lot of fighting and turns and stuff, and nobody came down there, you got dragged up. You're off somewhere, and then now you're somewhere completely different. You don't know where, but you are, you're restrained. You got searched. They know that obviously they had the gemstones because they showed up teleported. So these are fake gemstones, obviously. And Elena did find your gauntlet that was on your leg. So you are You're restrained and looking at Lelena, who is just staring at you as you wake up. What do you do?
I mean, I feel like Jesse's just gonna keep playing the role that she kind of went into this with. Like, it's just gonna double down. Like, even if it means like torture. Like, I think Jesse's like that committed, thinking it's the right thing to do. Hoping that maybe it works either one way or the other. Either the friends will come in time, or perhaps this will be a better power move. Maybe this is the way for Jesse to get more power.
Maybe. So what do you say to Lelena when you wake up? She's just staring at you with absolute malice. Just
Well, I'd like a date first.
I don't understand. You didn't want to save your friend, but now you came here, claimed you wanted to join me, but showed up with fake gemstones. Aside from your own, which I now have, and she's holding it in her hand. Are you telling me you still want to join me? Is that still your story?
Jesse's like, what? They gave me fake gemstones? Oh, those bastards. They must have known I was going to betray them.
Mm-hmm. What are their names? What are
Well,
their
there's
identities?
Oak, there's Holly, there's Hazel, and there's Willow.
I assume these people all go to your school, since that is
That's
where we
right.
found you and the Theo.
I mean, I feel like you know more than I do at this point.
So someone is going to, like, some little drone is going to hear those names and type them into some kind of little database when she looks at them, and pull up everybody with those names that are in your school registry with their like yearbook photo. Point them out to me. Which ones?
Are there photos that actually match up to these names?
Yeah.
Cool.
You go to a, it's not a huge school, but your class
Yeah.
is probably like 400 or so.
Okay, yeah. I literally pick the most random people because Jesse doesn't really care.
Wow. Getting all the civilians killed. Awesome.
Oh my god. I mean, if you really didn't care, you could just.
I mean,
tell
Jesse
their
makes
actual
sure
names.
that none of them looks like Liv's sister, but other than that,
Well, Liv's sister is like 5.
kindergarten,
so-
I
yeah.
know this, but Jesse is the only concern Jesse has. Like, hey, Liv might kill me.
yeah, she will.
What about Oak? Let's say Oak is the only Oak, because it is a pretty unique name.
I mean, that was also the name I let slip to begin with. So,
It
like,
is. Yeah, so we'll say that. So
also like Theo and Oak knew each other, so like, who knows?
yeah.
You may have already known.
So she's gonna nod to the bot. The bot is gonna, send that information somewhere. You don't know where. Do you do anything else? Say anything else? Try to.
I mean, I try either to continue convincing of the power, and if that doesn't work, then back to the seduction.
Okay. Let me
Until she gets awkward enough and either accepts or walks away.
She's hesitant. She's going to check your information first. We'll say that. So she's going to check your information first and track these people down. You guys flash back to wherever you guys are. I assume you're still in the facility. What do you guys do?
So we saw the lifts where the mechs were raised up out.
Mm-hmm. And you also know that Theo said that they went underground somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to start hacking into those lifts.
Yeah.
And making our
You
way
might
down.
have to muscle them a bit because the control panel is destroyed, but you can manage your way down there, especially, like all of you together can maybe like shove the opening to the stairs open.
Yep.
Just the motor is like fights against you a little bit, but you get it open. Theo is still on your ship, I assume. Or are you bringing him with you? Is he still locked up? Like what?
No,
Yeah.
he's safe where he is.
Are you just chilling on your ship in the facility?
Yeah, I'll just activate the PA and say, Theo, just chill. There's pizza in the fridge.
He looks at his hands like, I can't.
Do you promise not to touch anything other than the fridge?
I can't. My hands are all stuck in robotic handcuffs.
I mean,
They're like cover his hands completely. Like they're like
okay.
stuck together.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll, because my ship has landed. I guess I'll just pop on and hold your hands out, slice.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just when Jessie didn't come back, I looked on the internet to
Look,
block
Theo,
spaces.
seriously.
I'm so sorry.
Seriously, just enjoy the pizza. Don't try to operate my ship. You won't be able to, and you'll probably get yourself killed. So just enjoy. I've got cable. Just hang out.
You have satellite.
I mean, yeah, it's satellite.
Exactly. Like, okay, thank you, sir. Sorry, sir. You just
Poor
gonna stay
kid.
on the ship. Yeah. So, do you guys go down into the tunnels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can I scan for the rough location of the pink prism stone?
Probably not. So, did you know about their existence before and just decided to never go after these stones that were laid across the earth? Like you have that capability to just be able to pinpoint where a stone is?
Well, because I know I was
It
able
hasn't
to.
been activated recently, is the thing.
Yeah, I know that I was able to scan for them when they were in the orbit of Jupiter, just to get a general idea.
More because they teleported straight from your ship that you were kind of
Oh,
able to follow that.
got it. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna assume it's down there with her. All right. In.
Yeah, let's.
All right, so you guys
save
all
this.
hop down. You see the platforms where the mechs came up, like you see that they're up, and there's no other mechs down there. But there's just this long tunnel. So you guys just head down this long tunnel to wherever it goes.
Yeah. Liv's probably like holding on to her nunchucks, just waiting for something to happen, because this is. Yeah. Not good.
Suddenly the place all caves in on you. I'm just kidding.
We're dead.
The end.
It just leads after it's pretty long. It clearly like there was some small vehicle that zoomed down here and went down this long tunnel while you guys are on foot. But you go up, it goes up staircase, and it's just a random place in the middle outside. Nothing around.
Well. Now what?
When we find Elena, your priority is to retrieve Jessie. Get her out of here.
You guys
Is there
are
a
just
way that
standing
we
outside
could-
in the desert.
Yeah, how are we going to find them?
I mean, can't we just call her?
Did she have her phone on her? Did you bring your phone with you, Jesse?
Well, if she has Jessie's gauntlet, can we use that to contact her?
I don't think Jessie would have not had her phone.
Yeah, Jessie's a teenager. Jesse's phone
Yeah.
is surgically implanted.
Yeah.
And she also still has Theo's phone.
Yes.
Do any of us have Theo's number, though?
Oh. Hey, yo, Theo, what's your number?
Yeah, exactly.
Give me them digits.
Yeah.
So do you guys attempt to do you guys contact Aces? Do you guys attempt to just make the call?
I was gonna say maybe we could do we think that maybe Aces and Talos could track down the stone, or at least contact them briefly to be like, hey, can you guys
Yeah,
pinpoint where Pink is?
Yeah, they should be able to. They should be for sure be able to find the location of the Power Stone. One would hope.
They can if the person is touching it.
What about
There's enough
the
residual energy in a signature that they can pinpoint. That's why Talos has not just been able to go down and grab the
To go
stones.
find them.
He had to wait
Yeah.
for people to find them. And enough
about the-
people to find them to form a team.
the communicator itself? Like, if we, like, I would imagine, like, if we call Jessie, like, I mean, maybe she doesn't pick up, but like, if she does, then could we like figure out, like, I don't know, with antennas or something? Like, could the robot guy Ace could he figure out like where the communicator is calling from?
He could try, but you are dealing with an Unat who is extremely technologically advanced. So he would be really fighting some probably strong data scattering and everything, and making sure he can't be traced.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we kind of have an idea that her weakness is that she is trying to overcompensate since she is considered the inferior twin.
Oh,
Yeah, but
We
she's not
could try
inferior now
to-
that she's got a gem.
Aces.
but-
Any progress on the name of the sister?
Yes, actually, if you come back, I actually have a friend here that I contacted that has traveled and has more information on Milena and her sister.
We're kind of in the middle of stuff. That information would be really useful. Do you think you could patch them in now?
Sure. So he's gonna patch in his friend. First, are all of you morphed? You will need to be either morphed to be able to understand his language.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
morphed.
Okay. So he's gonna patch that guy in. Hello, champions or whatever you call yourselves. I'm Yuri. I'm a friend of Ace's. I'm a valet Danakan.
Ah. Well, we are tracking down Lelena, the inferior twin.
I don't really like that term. I don't really.
I understand, but she believes it wholeheartedly, and we need some sort of angle because our compatriot Jessie is somewhere in this facility with Elena, and we don't know where she is. So we need to provoke Elena to foolhardy action. And we thought that by tapping into her desire to prove herself superior to her twin, that might be enough.
Well, I was able to get some information. I did track down her twin. There's not many Veek that have a sibling that is still out there that they still need to take care of to become the superior twin. But whatever there is, it's pretty public. So her sister is actively searching for her. You could possibly use the angle of having her sister come here. I would advise against that. I don't know. From what I've gathered, the story is that the two were set to go through their challenges, and Milena was the favorite. She was going to win, by all accounts. But her sister essentially said that she was not going to take place in the competitions and wanted instead to run away with her because she did not want to kill her sister. But her sister betrayed her and exposed that that was her plan, and therefore Elena forfeit the competition, and it was charged to her sister to take care of her, but she fled. So I'm not sure what you want to do with that information. You could simply use the threat of contacting her sister, possibly, to move her to some action.
And the sister's name?
It's Livena.
Levena. Okay.
So it is exactly like Lilena, except with a V instead of an L.
Got it.
I was expecting to be Velena.
Right.
Yeah, I love the little 2 on the nose.
Yep. So, hang on a second. We could always bait her with a chance to face her twin. Promise to help her in exchange for returning Jessie so that she can achieve her goal of defeating her twin. We can honestly tell her that we can contact the twin and arrange a meeting / ambush.
Would she fall for that a second time?
Technically, it's not the same plan twice. We're not giving our fake stones to.
Is Jerry be able to hear what you're talking about?
No, but I'm happy to ask if that makes sense.
Sure. And he'll say, the reason she hasn't exposed herself to her sister is because it is known her sister will use any means. And while she was not as skilled as Lelena, she was able to make many friends and use between that social leverage and bribery to enlist help,
Well,
which is likely why Lelena has traveled here to gather power.
well, there are some champions that might be motivated to help her.
She may take that offer very seriously. That said, it is also my understanding that Greer is who helped her escape, so her loyalty, I'm not sure how far her loyalty runs with him.
She has one
he took it
overriding passion. I suspect that her loyalty to Greer goes as far as her belief that he can help her achieve her goal.
Quite possibly.
And if she sees an alternative, faster method, because building an army of mechs, come on. I mean, these children were able to take them out. So, no offense.
Personal offense to
I
that.
mean, no offense, but come on.
That would be a good point to bring up to her. She may very well switch sides to achieve her goals.
Yep. Cool. Thank you.
Try it.
We should probably call her.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to try to contact her?
Probably call Theo's phone.
We can call Theo's phone. We can also just ping Jesse's gauntlet.
We'll say the gauntlet is offline.
Okay.
Probably because that technology is a little bit harder to block than a phone.
Okay.
So Aces probably would have been able to track that versus the phone.
Okay.
So you do try to ping it, no signal, can't find it.
Well, we've got Theo's number.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to call her?
Put her
Might
on
be a bad
speaker.
idea to put the hot on the line. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Well,
Oh, it's Jesse, can't call her. Just hang up on her.
well, no. Jesse's just in the background trying to seduce
Yeah.
her. It's fine.
And she's probably just
Make
dealing
it
with
like
Jesse
it.
right now, and
Yep.
Theo's phone rings, and she's just like, the phone has been ringing nonstop. Probably she assumes it's, I guess his parents have probably been calling, wondering where he is, Maybe he's been missing for a bit.
Text it so that it shows up on the home screen.
Yeah.
Elena. ...
So that will get her attention, and this time she'll either answer it or call you back. So help me, if you hang up this phone,
So tempted.
I know. I want to
your
so bad.
But Jesse will
friend
die.
is dead.
No, we're not here to hang up the phone on you. We want to make a deal.
Another exchange, You're gonna bring me some more fake gemstones.
No, better. We're gonna help you defeat your sister.
How do you know about my sister?
We have our connections.
Who?
Our friends in space.
Are you in contact with my sister? Are
Not
you
yet.
working with my sister?
What? No.
Not yet. We're not in contact with her, but we can be.
I'm not afraid
It,
of my sister.
well, yes, it must have been so disheartening when she cheated like that. Fooled you. And I hear that she has many, many powerful friends. I assume that you're here building a robot army or helping Greer build a robot army, planning that the next time you meet, you'll have backup. But they keep getting destroyed by humans.
You are not wrong.
Well, imagine what your next confrontation with Levena would look like if those humans that keep destroying your robot army were working on your side. You think that might surprise her?
It would. You know too much. How did you get all this information?
It's not particularly secret. I mean, it was kind of a big deal.
Among my people, yes.
Yeah, well. We listen.
You have a Veek working with you.
I don't think so.
And how do I know you would actually help me and not simply just take the gemstone? I am already more powerful once I figure out how this gemstone works.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Can't be too hard. Bunch of human teenagers were able to do it. With Guerrero's technological expertise, I'm sure he can figure something out.
The fact that we have no technical expertise should probably tell you that that might not help you very much.
Yeah.
If a couple of dumb high schoolers were able to just pick it up and put it on, then, maybe it's not in the technology.
What makes you so special?
I don't know. Maybe that's the point.
The word you're looking for is destiny. We are offering you a chance to live your destiny, Elena. That's something that I can guarantee you Guerrero doesn't care about.
He does not. But I do owe Guerrero a level of loyalty.
Well, we're not asking you to betray him, simply to speed up your plans with a little help.
My plans are not his plans.
So then you're not betraying him. He can still do his plans, you can do yours, and then you can go right back to him.
His plans involve all of your gemstones.
We call a temporary truce.
I assume you are going to want this one and its eccentric wielder back.
I mean,
Yeah, unfortunately, we do need that.
if you want guaranteed defeat of Levena, then my friends need to be at their full potential.
What if I figured out how to use this gemstone and fought alongside you with this pink one as insurance?
I'm not sure you can, frankly.
Even with this primitive looking gauntlet device.
Yep.
I'm going to need some level of insurance. You can't expect me to just trust you after our last exchange, our last so-called deal we were supposed to have. I was ready to uphold my end of the deal.
Yeah.
I even left that human in the facility.
That was just because he's not important, but that's fine.
I had
This is
everything
like,
I
no, I'm
needed
so
from him.
helpful.
Clearly, you didn't care for him anyway.
Well, obviously we did because we came to save him. So how about we give him back to you, put him back in your custody? Hold him hostage again. You give him back when this is done.
I don't think
But as insurance.
our good friend Lelena cares that much about a lowly human with no power and no connections.
I also
What
know
about one of us?
thanks to your friend. I know your identities.
It won't be one of us.
What would you accept as leverage?
Well, I do know your identities now, thanks to this one that I have with me here. Seems you all have some familial collateral that could be used.
So what you're saying is if we double cross you, you come after our families. Well, their families.
Oh, I will have them. Do you not have any families, Gold?
Not within your reach. Not unless you're vastly more powerful than I think you are.
Not yet. So what is important
It
to
would
you? What
take
do
a lot
you
more.
value?
It'd take a lot more than a single stone. What do I value? It's actually a really good question. Actually, no one's asked me that in a very, very long time. I kind of just do what the moment demands.
Seems a strange way to live. You have nothing you care about? I suppose it's advantageous in a way, having nothing you care to lose.
I care about balance and fate. I care about the course of destiny. And I will tell you that whether you or Lavena is victorious doesn't matter to me. So I'm perfectly happy to assist you.
This is a difficult way to have insurance for you. But I suppose if I have 3 of the 4, or maybe 4 of the 5, if I choose to let this one go to help, who seems to be saying she wants to help me, despite hanging up on me 3 times.
I mean, you're pink.
That's very rude.
I mean, but it's. I'm just
She
saying.
doesn't say that.
I mean, it's more of a statement about Jesse than it is about you.
Yeah. I am, and I can see why she's so attracted to me, but nevertheless, I suppose if I have collateral for the 4, the 5 of us against you would be enough to take you down, should you betray.
Possibly.
I will round up your family members. Do not try to stop me. But we will be in contact. Your deal interests me. But I need the insurance first. Is that agreeable?
If you say no, she's going to do it anyway.
Oh, yes, before I scream.
Yes.
So I assume I can reach you on this. I don't know what you humans call it. the same. It's not a frequency, whatever this code is.
Yes.
Excellent. I will be in contact.
So she goes and rants up a bunch of random people.
Yeah, everybody except for Oak's uncle. She's gonna grab Oak's uncle. But aside from that, like these random people that Jesse has pointed out, he's going to round up their family members.
Oh God, this is so bad. I knew, like, we didn't know that, but I was like,
Yeah.
this is gonna be so
So
bad.
you're
Yeah, I
expecting
think-
Liv is expecting her sister to be gone. Liam, you're expecting your moms to be gone.
Yeah, well, I think that Liv, like, because she left a babysitter with Tara, so she's gotta try to explain why her sister suddenly gets abducted. So she's calling the babysitter, like, freaking out, like, hey, so some things might be happening. Will you just check on Tara for me?
Jesse, you do have the opportunity though to correct yourself and say if you were lying, if you would like to ensure, you know, she doesn't happen to feel betrayed by the fact that you gave her false information.
I think that Jesse's going to be like, no, clearly they put the gauntlet on my ankle when they made me pass out. See, I'm really easy to knock out, as you know. Like, I'm clearly just completely out of the loop. I just trust you at this point.
But you gave her false names.
Uh,
So either
to
you
Je-
wouldn't have given her any names at all.
but
or you would
to
have given her the
Jesse,
real
those
names.
are the right names. Because Jesse's trying to make it seem like Jesse really believes everything Jesse's saying, even though it's all bullshit.
Yeah, we'll see how that
She's
works
like,
out.
oh yeah, my friends, Meathead, Southern Boy.
Jesse triples down. Like,
What do you guys do? Aside from Jesse, who she still has tied up, she's deciding about you.
Oak is
Which, by
Well,
the way,
he's-
Jesse, who's your family? Do you have any family besides Theo as your friend? But
yeah, Jesse technically has like a dad they've recently moved in with, and
Okay.
like they have like they probably have extended family, but the dad's probably the only family that's in town.
yeah, she's only going to take immediate family. She's not going across all your your different
Well, the two people that
cousins
she
twice
knows.
removed. And yeah,
It's
So,
fine. Only
take-
half of us have our family
she'll
caught.
take Jesse's dad, Oak's uncle, and then Willow and what I forget the other name that it was instead of
Hazel
Liam,
or
but
something.
Hazel, yeah.
Little does
Take
she know,
those
my
person's
dad's
parents
the Blue Ranger.
and siblings. Oh yeah,
I
your
wanna
dad,
say-
the geologist, who's gonna like be like, "Oh, those are my rocks. Where'd you get those?"
How'd you get those?
um,
I think that
while-
Liv does call the babysitter, so probably figures out that Jesse at least lied a little bit because Tara's still there and okay. So she's much more comfortable going along with this plan now.
At least for now, it might take her some time to go through each family member.
We just don't have to tell her.
And I pull up the Nest cameras in my house to make sure my moms are still there because, you know, with them having dementia, I need to be able to watch them, especially at school, to check in. So I check and see that they're still there and nothing's happening. So I'm like, something's up, but I'm not going to say anything.
Probably Oak, while that conversation was going on, the idea of like putting other people's family members, as including and his own, in harm's way for this, it doesn't sit well with him, and he's like clenching his fist, and but he's not saying anything because he knows it has to go down this way. This is bad. This would never have been the way that I would have done this, but you know, I can't think of another way to do this. And he probably, like, as soon as the call was done, he just kind of like yelled and just kicked something that was nearby. And just I take a breath, stop, and he calls his uncle like, hey uncle Spatty. And his uncle would be like, well, hey there, Okie boy, how are you? I haven't heard from you in a while. Now, you know, are you going to be home for dinner today? You haven't been home in a while. It's like, no, okay, listen. Just, I'm going to need you to trust me on this. Just go stand in the driveway just for a minute or two. Just please, I'll have dinner with you later. Just like go stand in the driveway. It'll be okay. And then he hangs up.
All right. What else do you guys do?
Well, do we know where we're like meeting her? Like, how are we doing
She
this?
said she will be in contact, but it's probably
Okay.
taking her some time to. You have time to do something else while she's rounding up your family members. Essentially, if you need to, maybe regroup and, go over the plan and update Aces and on exactly what's happened and
Yeah.
Gary and
Yeah.
Carlos and.
Yeah, I think we need to reach out to Aces because I need him to repair my mech because it's kind of not functional. So we probably want that to be functional as soon as possible.
So you guys can use that facility for now. You cleared it out. Aces will meet you down there. He's like, oh, and he looks around. He's looking for a drone that maybe isn't completely destroyed and didn't blow up. But he said, this is gonna. I can repair this. It's just gonna take a while with the one arm.
Yeah, sorry, it was kind of heat of the moment. We couldn't really spare anything.
I completely understand. I don't blame you. Safety first. But Liam, I could use your help. I believe you're quite handy. You've probably worked on, farm equipment and taken some shop classes and stuff just to give him an extra set of hands and he can instruct you. And then you'll learn some stuff about your mech. To repair it in the future, possibly. So Aces and Liam will work on the mech. Jerry is down there. Talos is kind of stuck on the ship. So if you want to ask him any questions, you can, or go over your plan, or talk about it while they're working on the ship. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like we should probably do a rundown of the plan with everybody just to make it clear, and so that they know that if we need to contact Lavena to get her to meet us to do the fight.
Is she holding on to Jesse while she's collecting all these people, or is Jesse with us?
He has Jesse.
Jesse's trying to get her to hold on to Jesse.
Oh my god.
She'll probably bring Jesse with her to the fight once it happens and allow her to have her gemstone if she can't figure out how to use it in that time, which unfortunately she will not. At least not that gemstone.
Yeah.
Not her style.
She can try. She'll probably blow herself up.
At some point, Jesse also mentions so like she's seeing double. So like in hopes, so like it helps when Lelena finds out that Jesse gave the wrong information, but also to kind of mess with her, be like, "Oh, look, it's you and your twin," and just
Oh no,
Too soon.
seeing double.
You're actually gonna walk away with
think
the
you're funny.
Like Jesse's like, "What are you talking about?"
Jesse's
There's
all
clearly
skeevy, like,
two of
oh,
you."
so they're twin. Mm.
Yeah.
Ew, gross.
Exactly.
Do not fetishize my species. she's not having a good time with Jesse up there.
Well, this is actually a good strategy. Just annoy her so much. She's like, yeah, whatever. Get out of here.
He's gonna get
Get rid of
like
her.
kill her or get rid of her. Yeah, fine. So what do you got? You guys want Jerry to contact Lavena,
Not
or are you
yet,
waiting
but
for
maybe,
Lavena to contact back?
Yeah, we need to
Yeah,
get.
waiting for
Yeah.
Lavena. Yeah. And then contact Lavena, assuming that Lavena goes along with what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And we should probably set the meet on Mars.
Yeah. Somewhere not Earth.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Any questions you guys have for Deary or Theo, who is still chilling in Magnus's car? Like, what happened to him or anything? Nothing. You guys don't want to know any of that stuff.
Do you?
Go.
So after a while of like pacing around, Oak approaches Aces. Now, I know we've only got these gems, and they chose us.
Debatable, but go on.
Well, Okay.
Trying to make
well,
them
he's
feel
New York,
special, Aces.
Chosen. Aces is like he's thinking it's like you just happen to be compatible somehow, or there's
Yeah.
some random stuff he hasn't figured out yet.
We are the ones who have this power, and we just put all of the people that we know in harm's way. Do you have anything that we can use that, like, you don't have any more gems around? Do you have like any more of these morpher things, like, that we could, like, something that if we get a chance we can give them to the people that she's holding hostage to try and protect them? Like, I don't want to, like, it was bad enough when it was just Theo that we had to worry about, but like when there's like even more people, that if things go bad, if there's a fight, like, I what if Magnus chops another, like, building or ship in half, and everybody's, like, parents and family members, like, Liv has a baby sister, I think I heard. Like, I don't know. Like, what? This is wild. Like, please tell me you've got something that we can take in there to help protect them.
Gemstones, no. Those were brought by Talos. There's only one left, and we do not know where it is. And we will not know where it is until a compatible human or other life form picks it up.
Like a cat.
You never know who could be worthy. But unfortunately, teleportation will also be difficult depending on the number of people she's taken. I'm not sure exactly how many family members you all have, but it would take a few rounds of teleportation if it's many.
Well, in fairness, I don't think they actually took all of our family members.
How do you know? Why not?
Well, because I just called the babysitter and my sister's still there. Nothing's happened. I mean, I don't know how long it would take, I guess, for her to round everybody up, but there's been no sign of any trouble, and I told her to contact me if anything happens. I haven't heard anything. So Jesse might have lied.
As she does.
That's very possible. I will say at this point, Oak, she's at least picked up your uncle. Probably some bots just carried him off to the ship, and
He's probably like, honestly, with the way that Uncle Spatty gets on with people, he's probably just having a grand old time. Somehow they're having tea together. He found some snacks or something. Like, just no one knows how it happens, but he's just enjoying this.
better company than Jesse, at least.
Yeah, how nice of Oak to give his uncle a nice, all-inclusive spotcation full of robots and space views.
I really don't have. I could maybe create some again with the one arm. It's slow work for me to build anything. Yeah, perhaps. Again, and I'm not blaming you, but if I could get a unit, I could maybe use that to track wherever Guerrero is creating these drones, and we could use that technology. But obviously, that's not going to be possible within the time frame.
They have a tendency to self-destruct when they take enough damage. The only time that they haven't is when I've disintegrated one.
Which, of course, rendered any of it unusable. Yeah. Understood. Just if you do happen to find some way and can get one alone with no other mechs around, you could maybe figure out a way to simply subdue it instead of destroying it. If that chance ever arrives, where there's just one lonely drone.
Yeah, we'll add it to the list.
Yeah. Do we have a way to detect those, to detect the drones?
We could if I had one.
Okay.
But I would need one first.
Well, Oak is visibly disappointed, but has to accept it.
Yeah.
Do we have any way of protecting our families in the future? Because I assume that it's probably going to get found out that at least some of us were lied. I don't know why she only lied about a few of us. Why would she? That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, is there some way that we can keep them safe?
Possible, since I believe Theo knew about both Jesse and Oak and was able to lie about the others.
Hey, yo,
Wait, so-
Theo! Did you know about Oak?
He didn't mention Oak by name.
Okay.
He's like,
Yeah.
I mentioned that there was another guy, but I just named Jesse, and that was enough.
Yeah, at least you were smart enough to only mention one name. Which, in
I'm
fairness,
really
it's just
sorry. I'm really
like,
sorry, by the way. I didn't like just go around telling people.
Calm
I just
down, Theo, man.
It's
I
Jesse's
just
fault
was
for telling
looking
you.
up
Just
the
tell her,
stones online,
Theo,
and then
Theo, go back to watching the movies.
I'm sorry. Okay, yes.
Uh, so
And-
somehow they figured out who Oak is. I don't know how or why, but regardless, they're gonna figure it out in the future. They've already seen our faces, and my sister's a kid. She can't fend for herself, and I
Well,
can't always
they
be
will
there to protect her.
they will see your suits. We'll be on Mars. It would be
she's just talking because of Lelena has seen faces.
Yeah, Lelena's seen us when we popped into the first
Oh
warehouse.
right, yes. And
Luckily, the only reason she didn't know Jesse was lying is you humans look kind of similar.
yeah.
Yeah,
And she didn't see long enough to be able to be like, oh yeah, that was that one, you know.
Yeah.
yeah. But and regardless, even if she doesn't know, I mean, these are very obvious targets to hit if they ever figure out who we are. And I want to take as many precautions as I can to keep my sister safe. I'm doing this to protect her, but by doing so, I'm putting her in more danger, and it's a lose-lose situation. I'd like to do what I can to make sure that she's safe, and of course, everybody else too. I mean, you guys have people that you care about. Sans Magnus, who doesn't seem to care about anyone, but.
I understand.
It's only
It's a
because no
very
one cares
difficult
about me.
position to be in.
Well, and Jesse too, because Jesse didn't really care about Theo either, so I guess you kind of have
Yeah.
two heartless people on the team.
So yeah, he'll say, I sympathize. I understand this is a difficult position to be in. We can certainly work on defenses for your families, but for the time being, the best course of action is to simply follow through now that she has whoever she does have. Some of your family members, some not. And if we are able to take her down and Greer, we could take better precautions to actually protecting the identities of your family as well.
Yes. I think what the primary objective is to thwart Greer. Once that's taken care of, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about it until the next intergalactic threat arises.
We know that one's on the way, but
Well, yes.
At least they don't know your identity yet.
yeah,
Yes.
that'll be a good thing. Remember to suit up next time before getting teleported.
By helping Lelena, we may loosen Greer's hold on her. The only reason she may feel she owes him some debt of gratitude for helping her break out, but all of that was just in service of her primary goal. When she's achieved that, she might be more pliable.
Or she might be dead if we lose.
Fury is going to speak up and is going to say, like, I feel for her. I think maybe she's redeemable. She was put in a bad position from my understanding.
It sounds like it. Her sister betrayed her. That's kind of eh.
She was lined up to win and decided she didn't want to kill her sister, and then her sister decided that was the easiest way for her to be the superior twin. I myself am Valet, and you do, Magnus probably notices it, but like, it's strange that he's Valet and doesn't have a twin with him.
Yeah.
Like, that's strange. Because that you don't see that.
I will ask about that.
Yes. My brother died.
My condolences.
Thank you. I found it very difficult living on a planet that is geared towards two. It was a little too painful to stay there with constant reminders that I was myself alone. I was able to go to the Beak and spend some time with them, which they were happy to have me. It may surprise you, but we are actually not antagonistic towards each other. We just see the world differently. personally, I think we're both wrong. I think the Valet take it to an extreme, and the Veek take it to the opposite side of the extreme, and we should be somewhere in the middle. But I've learned a lot about the Veek and how they operate. I prefer the Valet, to be honest, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of between both at the moment.
Do you think that Elena actually wants to kill her sister? I mean, I get that she betrayed her or whatever, but she was willing to give everything up to run away with her.
Probably not, but she probably feels forced to now, and she's possibly angry enough to do so now after that level of betrayal. I have no doubt her sister is willing to kill her.
You think if Lavena got into a position where she didn't have to worry about people watching her, that she would run off with Lelena? Like, maybe if they both died during the fight.
Maybe. But I'm sure she's hesitant to trust her sister. It would be very difficult to negotiate that in the middle of a fight.
Mm.
And I would also be very hesitant to work that angle with Lavena just for her to betray all of us later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's for sure going to try to do that.
With your families on the line. If your families were not on the line, maybe. But I know what it's like to lose a family member, and it's not great. So
Yeah, I guess I should care about these other people's family members that have been taken in place of mine.
But I mean, we have all this power. Like, I know it's not a great thing for us to do, and I hate doing it. But like, I mean, maybe we could, if we have this power and we can use it to protect our own families. I mean, that feels almost wrong somehow to know that she and her sister, it's not exactly our situation, but like, it's bad blood between them. But we, like, at some level, I feel bad for her, like, knowing that this situation is going on. I mean, we can protect our own families if we know that they're in danger. It's not great, but we can try. Like, maybe we just have to, you have to risk a little to gain a lot in this case. That, like, it's, you rip a muscle a little bit to heal it and make it bigger. In this case, like, we take a little bit of a risk and we trust her, and I think that maybe we could end up helping even her. I don't know, maybe this is a good idea.
I think she's more trustable than her sister, personally. I know I understand she's done some very bad things, but I believe it was out of necessity, and she's simply hurt quite a bit and has turned to hurting others to in lieu of not really being able to do anything else. Obviously, she's working for this career that Aces has told me about, and he is doing bad things. She feels in debt to him. It makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, if it's possible and we get the chance, I think we should take it to try to help them. But if not, I don't feel comfortable putting other people's lives on the line for the sake of maybe getting two sisters back together. I feel for them, I do, because I can't imagine losing mine. But we have to make tough calls now. And I think that this is a tough call that we're going to have to make.
I think the call's already made. We are set on a path. It's now simply for us to forge forward.
See where destiny takes us, huh?
Yes, in fact.
And I'm happy to go with you if you'd like me to. They might
think she
listen
might be
to
a little upset if we brought you.
Would she?
She did kind of suspiciously ask if we were working with one of the other ones.
The other ones,
She asked specifically if we're working with the Veek, and we are not.
which was true. Yeah, you are not working with a Beak. He is
Okay.
valet. He just happens
Alright.
to be a valet on his own.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
hang out in my ship.
Yeah.
She might take the word of the knockin' at the very least.
Yes.
A
To your
little more
point,
serious.
you're not antagonistic. You might be able to offer her perspective. And you haven't hung up on her 3 times, and apparently she hates that.
I can't imagine why.
I did hear about that. That was a bold move.
It was a dumb move, let's be honest. I mean, there's a few of us on this team that can sometimes think, and there's a few of us that don't. And we have to balance each other out, I guess.
I've heard about the pink one.
Yeah. Wait till you meet her.
You'll suddenly get a call from. I'm not sure whose phone you guys used to call.
We use mine,
but
so
okay.
yeah, Liv.
So you'll get a call on your phone.
Put it on speaker. Yeah.
I have all your family members. I assume none of them know, as Theo did, who and what you are, since they seem to not know.
That's correct.
Out of respect, I will not push them to figure out if that's actually true.
Thanks. So, we have a deal?
We do. But what is your plan? Exactly. What are you offering? For you 5, if I let this one go, to fight with me against my sister, who will show up if you contact her.
Yes, we will contact her. We will. I suggest we meet at one of the old temples on Mars. Oh yeah, Mars was inhabited a while ago. Anyway, yeah, it's this whole thing.
Talking more about that later.
Yeah,
It's actually very interesting. It's like, not the time.
right.
I want to aces, but later.
So
Jerry is like, buddy.
yeah, so we let her know that her sister has been a thorn in our side, and that we need. We know through our connections that she's well positioned to take you out finally, to prove without subterfuge and trickery that she is in fact the superior twin. We convince her, she comes, and then we fight at your side at our full strength. She cannot resist us all.
I would prefer we use treachery as she would, and feign as if we are fighting, and that she will fight with you to take me down, because she does not care about fair.
Yes.
She would prefer to come when she has the upper hand.
We will
In a fair
call her
fight,
for
she will just
help.
bring them.
We will call her for
Exactly.
help, to say that we are concerned that we can't take you down on our own, and we know that she is motivated to help us do so.
We'll bring a few drones with me. However,
Be sure to
I
bring a
will be
few extra
betraying-
parts because they might be damaged.
Oh, do you have any extra arms? Oak is just like leaning in over the shoulder.
Just
to, like,
extra parts in general. They have a tendency to be damaged, as we've learned.
like
well, yes, they're expendable.
And we will be on Mars, so there won't be a facility nearby, just in case the battle rages longer than we anticipate.
I would like to add something to the deal.
Which is.
In doing this, I will be betraying Guerrier. He will see it as betrayal. So I will need from you to not turn me over afterwards to Guerrier and ensure I am allowed to go freely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
Excellent. Just making sure you didn't get any ideas. I will release your families once I am at a safe distance.
Yeah, that Sounds good.
Seems reasonable. Are the humans safe and secure, well taken care of?
Safe enough.
They need a
You-
shocking amount of food.
Yes. Well, they survive without food for like a day, right?
A day, but not a lot longer than that. They definitely need water.
You're gonna get a lot of complaints.
They are a very
like, you know how
inefficient
Jesse-
organism.
It's gonna get worse because they'll whine.
In that case, I would like to get this over with sooner rather than later.
It seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
Send me the coordinates for where you want to meet
Cool.
and the time.
Cool. I will pick an old temple on Mars and some reasonable amount of time that's not like instantaneous, but you know.
Right, because it'll take time for her sister to get there.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. So, you'll hang up. If need be, you can, text or whatever,
Yep.
call back for any additional details that you need. So now you just have to get into contact with her sister. Which you can let Jerry do if you don't want to.
Yeah, I think that
Yes.
given that he
Okay.
knows both the lingo and the kind of social cues better than we do.
So he'll contact it. He'll have you guys, be quiet in the background, but he'll let you listen in. He'll contact. It's like, hey, I interviewed you earlier this year about your sister and everything, and other Veeks like you. I actually have a friend out here in the Soul System who seems to have a lead on your sister. They're actually having quite a problem with her. They're looking for help taking her down as they continue to keep fighting with her. But it would be an excellent opportunity for you to finally achieve that superiority in your status as the superior twin. If you can eliminate her here while she's fighting others, and they would appreciate it as well. And you'll hear them kind of go back and forth. Like, she's super excited. She's like, finally, like, just give me the coordinates. I'll head that way. I'll bring, she's gonna bring some of her people, probably other Veek that are also. They've probably joined together to, take out each other's siblings. But she's coming.
Good.
She's not expecting you guys to be fighting with her or whatever.
Right.
He probably would have explained, like, got a few drone robots working with some Unat, but they're nothing. These teenagers have been, killing them. This is an easy one.
Just like Lalina to build really bad robots.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
she
not,
doesn't build
yeah,
them.
they're not
Yeah.
her robots.
They're cannon fodder. Greer is fully capable of building, and probably is building, other things that are much better, but those are, the grunts.
Yeah.
Jerry will say, she will bring back up, and we do need to take care of them because they'll be angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure how you deal with I'm not sure if you take prisoners or take life, but they will probably be very angry if they return to the Veek that you betrayed one of them.
Well, betrayed one, allied with another. I mean, it kind of balances out, right?
They may not care. The Veek, it depends. They're more out for themselves. At least that certain group of people. They're only working together out of necessity, out of desperation, really, because they are not fully accepted into society until they are the superior twin, and you cannot be the superior twin if your twin is still out there.
Well, we could do a switcheroo, and Elena can adopt Lavena's identity, and it'll be fine. We'll figure something out, or we'll blast them all to smithereens.
I mean, they
If
tried
she's
to
up
kill
for it.
us for defending ourselves. works out, I guess, a little more conscience heavy than killing drones, but
I feel for the weak. Their society has forced them into this, but at the end of the day, they do kill their sibling, which is pretty egregious in my
It's
opinion.
super messed up.
yeah, they've got a killer be killed mentality already, so
Exactly. They will probably not hesitate. And these are the twins that are actively looking for their other half to kill. So
yeah. We're helping out a lot of inferior twins.
but at this point, you do know too that she does not have your little sister. And
Yeah.
she does not have Liam's mother's. She does have Oak's uncle and Jesse's dad, but she has some other poor schmuck's family. Probably got like some little boy, some set of parents, and then like a divorced mom, divorced dad. Their whole weird
Yeah.
Oh
family, like
no!
with
Right.
the half brother on that side, and both of them, and they're probably squabbling, and she's dealing with that,
Jesse's bringing families together, y'all.
No.
blaming each other. Like, what do you
Yeah.
let our son do?
The plan comes together.
Yeah, it's working out perfectly.
I just love how we went from saving one person, aka Jesse, to possibly risking the loss of everyone on the planet.
It's like 7 people. Come on.
Yeah, it's
No,
fine.
but like
We're
we're gonna
fighting
piss
on
off a whole
Mars.
race, and they might come and blow up the planet.
Not a whole race, just they're the kind of the outcasts of the race at the moment. They're not
Yeah.
really a part of them until they're able to accomplish the mission of killing their sibling. So, all right. So, is there anything else you guys want to do ahead of time?
I'm
Get those mechs summoned.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should probably have our
Should be
mechs ready.
Prepared.
Oh, yeah.
We'll say by the time that you schedule the time so that your mech is repaired in time for that.
Yeah. Bring out the mechs.
And hopefully you won't even need them.
Well,
I
we
feel
can
like we're gonna need
certainly, knowing the lay of the land, we can certainly stash them somewhere nearby so that they can be but a moment's call away.
Well, they can come out of the mountain caves just when we call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some
Power Rangers. So
there are some volcanic vents in Olympus Mons that are large enough.
It's
really cool action sequence in the future.
Okay, is that all you guys want to do before you
I think so.
Yeah, that's all that I can think of is, Oak would probably just be trying to take his mind off of this upcoming stressful fight, and he's probably just, jogging around the ship or the base, just trying to like take his mind off stuff. But nothing in particular to do beforehand.
Okay.
Oh, did we
So-
teleport Theo back to his place? We probably
You can
should.
just chill in your ship. Okay, you can.
Yeah, it's like
send Theo
Theo.
back home.
Yeah, sorry. You probably ought to get out of here unless you want to get blown up. Zip.
If we do have a little bit of time, I think Liv is excitedly talking to Aces about the Mars being inhabited thing because she thinks it's really cool.
Oh yeah, he'll go on about the life on Mars and the water drying up and your Earth is fascinating. I mean, you guys have the Atlanteans that migrated there, and then Europa had life, and for everything that I've gathered, I can't study in depth the races that live in the water or the underground because I'm not quite capable of that level of pressure quite yet and waterproofing. But I'm excited one day.
That's super cool. Thanks, Aces.
And he's also very curious about Magnus. Like, do you guys procreate? Are you from the first time itself? Like, are you a descendant? Is whatever was created at the beginning, is that all there is? So once, if you guys are taken out, is that it? Or do you have a way of making more?
Time isn't linear.
I hate that answer.
To an extent, I exist at the first light. we're sort of manifested where we're needed. And usually it's a lot more important stuff, honestly. Not some backwater planet in a backwater sector in a backwater arm of a backwater galaxy.
Perhaps it's a domino effect.
Yes.
Whatever happens small here affects the future in a great way. Bunot are capable of a lot.
There is, in fact, a pivot of destiny at some point in the relatively near future.
So you don't take, mates or anything like that. You are just alone.
So many strange questions. The second person to ask me a unusual question.
Well, you've spent a lot of time alone, correct? So it would make sense that you are not asked these questions very often.
True. I will say that all this talk of family, there are others of my kind, but we don't associate. We're never in the same place and time. So
This may be personal, so feel free not to ask it, but has there ever been a case of primordial with another species? Are you even compatible with any other species?
we manifest physically in a way that's largely indistinguishable from whatever the target species is. So I'm, for most intents and purposes, human.
Interesting.
So
I'm curious if there's ever been a case where maybe something else was created due to a primordial and something else.
If that was the path of destiny, then I suspect it might have happened. I can't see why, but the whims of destiny are difficult to decipher.
Interesting. So, you guys go back and forth about random stuff while you're waiting. And then the time comes. So let's say you guys travel to Mars. Gary's just chilling in your ship in case he's needed or you want to bring him down. You guys all show up and you're waiting around. I assume you're already morphed?
Oh, yeah. Or else they would all die.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And I would be uncomfortable.
And did you bring Aces with you, or is he back at?
I mean, I would think it's up to him.
Yeah.
He can hang out on my ship / mech if he would like.
It's all dependent on, like, Talos can do certain things on his own, even though he's just a consciousness. Like, he has certain controls of the command center that he can do without Aces. As long as, nobody else shows up.
They are better at judging. Magnus kind of doesn't care what happens to them.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, other than just not being a total awful person, they're not the focus, and so it's just going to be like, well, whatever you think is your path, take it.
He part of him wants to come because he wants to see the drones up close and see if he can maybe get one, since you guys haven't yet, but he also feels like he needs to protect Talos.
Okay.
He doesn't like leaving him by himself.
Okay.
Very often. Let's see. And then we'll say you'll see a ship pull up. It's kind of it almost looks like the gunship, but it's definitely made for space travel. So she'll pull up, walk out. She's got a suit on, so you can't really see her face, but it's her just by the way she walks and holds herself. She's got Jesse with her. Jesse's in the same kind of sort of cuffs that Theo was in. And she's just kind of like pushing her forward, clearly annoyed. But she does have her with her, and there's some drones behind her as well.
Is Jesse breathing? Like, are we in an atmosphere?
You have your own, like, She has
Okay.
you in your own thing. You're not morphed, you're not into thing, but you're in your own,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Jesse immediately and falls over dead.
She would love to do that, but she does understand just as she can't breathe, you
Yeah.
can't either.
Yeah.
You probably just got like a little makeshift mask thing contraption on.
Yep.
I'm Bane.
So your sister will be here any moment.
I suppose I should let this one have her gem and gauntlet back.
Yes.
And she'll hold it, but she'll hand it to you and just like push Jessie forward. She's not gonna put it on her for her. But she'll hit a button. Your cuffs will just like kind of like demagnetize and fall open. So you're free now.
Here's your gauntlet.
Jesse just kind of takes one last second and like reaches out to like stroke, and then takes a second to not do so.
Wow.
It just kind of winks.
We are going to have
Jesse's just
rescue
triple
you.
downing.
we are going to have a talk.
Yeah.
But
You
after.
said play it up.
Not like that.
This is not what we meant.
She's scary, y'all.
Oh, why did we
Well, this-
send you?
There's 5 of us. If anything goes wrong, we can take her.
You could try.
We don't
We don't need to.
need to.
Yeah, we're on the same team here.
It's nice to see you, Holly, Hazel, Willow, and Oak.
Good to see you too.
Like finds it weird that you just address them all by
I'm
their
like, am
first
I
names,
Hazel? Wait a second.
Am I? No, I want to be Hazel.
wanna be
Willow,
Holly.
obviously.
but I suppose we should make this look good. So,
Yep. Did you bring those
Yes.
extra mechs?
there's
So we can,
quite a
like-
ton of mechs.
Blow some of them up. Ah!
They're all expendable. At this point, I've betrayed Greer. He's not quite aware yet due to his big project, but he will be.
All right.
And I'll have no use for these mechs after that.
All right, let's make it look like this has been in progress for a while. I'll walk up to one of the mechs and rip an arm off and throw it into the distance and then punch it a bunch. It's like, just to create a scene of destruction, but very
Yeah.
consciously marking where that arm is.
Excellent. And she's they're gonna have 2 big mechs come off of the ship, and they're just gonna fire at Jesse's feet a lot.
Yeah. Just all-
What an odd target to pick.
Perfect
Yes.
one.
They might be. They're pretty, like, you can tell that they're set, like the bots are not set to a motive, like they're not actually trying to kill you.
Yeah.
I will.
I mean, they
use
might
the-
be hitting Jesse a little bit harder than they should be, though.
right. Just blasting bolts of primordial light at various different rock formations.
Yeah.
Uh,
So entrance around.
And do you have Jerry doing anything at this point? Like, is he on lookout? Is he doing...
I think he is there to observe, and if the opportunity presents itself to leverage his understanding of their culture to bring about a reconciliation or to provide us with insight, like if the sister comes and starts doing anything hinky, he can communicate to us and say, yeah, don't trust this one. That's not what she would do. But other than that,
All right.
he's staying in the relative safety of the sword ship.
Cool. So, they'll head down. You guys are fake fighting, essentially. And we'll say your sword ship is kind of like sensing, waiting. So it gives you a little alert when something comes out of hyperspace and shows up. And it sees the fighting. And they'll just start firing on all of you. So the ship is going to just absolutely blow up a lot of you. You're not gonna unmorph. You'll still be alive. But you guys just took a pretty big hit, and it looks like it's coming to make another round.
I would like to. I have a one. I think I have a one token left over from the last big fight. Um, Oak was not expecting that like orbital barrage at all. Um, and just completely taken aback. But he's like looking up, and probably other people would wonder, why are you just looking up? You can't really see something that is in orbit. But he doesn't occur to him. He reaches down to his gauntlet, and he summons his mech, and so his mech is it looks almost like a really sleek angular plane, and it has been in a very fast orbit around Mars. Like that's where he parked it instead of like hiding it in a cave or something. So I think what he's gonna try and do is like he wouldn't be able to pilot this himself, but he's going to tell like the ship's computer like go basically on a collision course with no, sorry, not a collision course, but to the next time the ship comes around, if it starts firing again, to put itself in between the shots, basically to like try and intercept the shots so that it hits the ship and the mech instead of us the next time if she tries that again.
Well, she is going to try it again. However, if I'm not mistaken, all of us have our mechs summoned.
I think we should do something else besides that.
Something other than calling our ultimate form?
No, that's what I meant. Like instead of him using his as a deflection shield, he call it down to have our powers combined.
Mm-hmm.
I can at least give Lelena an opening to get back to her gunship.
Yeah.
He's probably trying. Oak was probably like saying all of that into his communicator, like trying to get the mech computer to understand what he wants it to do, and somebody else is like, "No, Oak, I have a better idea." Or Liam, you would probably be like, "Oak, I have a better idea."
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like that tracks.
Yep.
Cool. So you guys are coming together for your ultimate form?
Heck yeah.
Cool.
So coming out of various different caves and caverns and dust hollows, the mechs arise. Oak's mech swoops down from the stratosphere, and then clink, clink, clunk, chunk.
Are you also using your
Yep.
mech Magnus with Jerry in there? Okay, that's fine.
Yep. I teleport into it, and then as the combined Voltron form rises up, with dust and stuff, and like creating a small Mars quake, out the back of my ship, a big long protuberance expands that forms the hilt of a sword.
So you guys are all in your final form, your awesome, cool spaceman mech. You guys are all kind of during that transformation in a one singular command center inside of the mech. And Jerry is just kind of like also chilling in there, just because that's just what happens when it transforms. So he's probably just like chilling in the back, like, it's kind of cramped in here. This is cool and all, but it's a little cramped.
Sure. I think what Liv's satellite is probably the head, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Probably the panels come down.
And my son is probably like the body.
Yeah.
No, I guess like Jesse's like comet could like split and be like jet propulsion like boots.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Her legs, yeah.
Yeah.
And also steel toed, like the
And
rocky asteroid.
Yeah.
And then Oak is the gun show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Naturally.
Wielding.
The plane comes like right down out from orbit, and it looks like it's going to crash, but at the last second it fires some thrusters and then splits in half, and it splits into two like big shoulder pieces that are also that like shoulders and arms that kind of like shrunk down on each side of the mech as the arms.
Your mechs automatically make up for the fact that there is no blue, but you would be bigger if there was.
Yeah.
So you guys are all together in your final form, and as the gunship goes to take another round, it's like, whoa, was not expecting that. And then there'll be there's like that main ship, and then like two smaller ones, and they're like, oh man, this is bigger. So they'll come together and form like one big ship, but it'll be kind of more. It's not really shaped like a human though. It's shaped more like.
I was thinking maybe like a more streamlined version of like Baymax. Like he had like muscles instead of like puffy arms, but like I still have the big poofy midsection.
Yes.
Yeah. But Livena's people, theirs transforms not into a human and not into really a Danakan either. It kind of looks like some animal you don't recognize. And Jerry will be like, "Oh, that's terrifying." And it's kind of like a weird dog cat looking thing with like sharp claws, but also like kind of a turtle-ish back and guns.
Gross.
So yeah, it's gonna turn into that and kind of like leap out at you guys and kind of basically try to like bite your arm. Probably the sword hand. And meanwhile, Elena is like trying to get back to her ship. Like, I should have known that she wouldn't come and just do a fight. So, all right, what do you do now?
Oh.
So I think do we each act
Anything
individually?
you do is going to be a squad turn, but it's going to be
Okay.
It can be flavored, obviously.
What if Jesse blasts, since this thing is holding on, Jesse blasts us up, and then we flip in air and then blast down into the thing like ultimate pile driver?
Yeah.
You do smack your elbow first, like the
Yeah.
they
Oh,
do.
yeah. Ah.
Just to get this thing, because it's turtle-like, so maybe getting on its back is going to be a problem for it.
All right, so you guys do that. You do it. It like rocks a second, but then it takes its like boosters and flips itself back over, and it's kind of just running around you now, taking pot shots. Like it's trying to figure out. It's like this thing is. They're trying to strategize and buy some time because they're trying to figure out. This thing's clearly smaller than you. They weren't expecting this big super mech, or it to be against them. She probably should have asked before just firing upon you guys.
Yeah, she should have thought twice.
Yeah.
That said, you
Sure.
were going to betray her anyway, but
She didn't
Well,
know
but now we
that.
have an excuse.
she
So
didn't
Yeah.
know that. Yeah, exactly.
this is why we betrayed her. She fired on us.
Gonna
Excellent.
make it easier for those others.
Yeah.
Ooh. As a simultaneous action, how about we open a channel
Yeah.
You can do that.
Hailer.
and say
Beep beep boop beep boop.
something to the effect that
Liv could take a light turn to talk
Oh.
smack to someone more powerful
yeah,
than you.
yeah. Your sister said when we were fighting her that if you came, you would act stupidly. We should have listened to her. Clearly, she is the superior twin.
Oof. Emotional damage. So, she's gonna growl over the comms, like, "You humans don't know what you've gotten yourselves into. Leave."
Would
So-
we leave when we can have so much fun kicking your butt?
Also not a human, but that's fine. Just another way of like you didn't assess the situation at all seriously.
Yeah. He just did not consider anything for you open fire.
Yeah.
Like,
How
man.
have you survived this long? Seriously, you're not very good at this.
And I thought Jesse was dumb.
Wow.
Let's
I
say
was
that
actually
answer like
thinking.
Just like, yeah,
beaming.
I was thinking. No wonder, like, she hated Jessie so much.
Reminds her of her sister. Uh, so she's fuming at this point that you guys are just. I didn't come here for you in a squabble with primitives. I'm here
Then
for
you
one thing
probably
and one
shouldn't have
thing
attacked
only.
us.
It's like I was attacking my sister. You were just in the way.
Yeah, anyway.
But she is going to. Their mech is going to turn around and go for Lelena's gunship.
So
So
we probably jet boost over and boom, land in the way to cut her off. And
In
hold
our
her there to
rainbow
give.
arc.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our propulsion is totally a rainbow. Yes. I love it.
And even do like one of those, like a combat roll over the turtle cat dog's back,
Yeah.
just to show that we're like super agile, even though we're a giant robot.
Yeah.
And then just push against it, kicking up furrows of Martian soil.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going? We were
really
just getting
think-
to know each other.
it's like, I thought you were fighting her. I will destroy her for you if you simply get out of the way.
You attacked us first. You made this personal. I don't care which one of you we kill.
Well, hold on, Liv. She makes a good point. So we step to the side and then just come down with the sword right on this thing's back. It's like as soon as it starts to move forward, just pow.
Yeah.
All right, so it's gonna hit. The shell's not gonna take damage, but underneath, like just the force, the impact, like you could tell its like legs were like, and it took some damage, so it's having a hard time moving again, and instead, just to be a jerk out of spite, she came here for one thing. The weapons are gonna come on and shoot the gunship. So you guys are out of the way. You damaged it, but the guns are going to still fire on the gunship, and the gunship is going to take a lot of damage to the point of you're not really sure if Elena is still okay.
We need to get over there and stop it from taking more hits.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're there.
The best way to stop it from taking more hits is
They just got
to
a
blow.
really good spike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were
Not
like
that detrimental.
positioned like still to the side and like behind the like turtle cat. So I figured
Right.
like
You're
I
on
thought
the
it was
side
like,
of it. It just happened to get a few shots in, but it's not like you're far away or anything.
oh, okay. It wasn't like it had an open shot. Like okay.
Yeah.
You acted like you were getting out of the way for it to go jump on it and destroy it.
And then
Came down on the sword, and they were like, you know what? Instead of being or at least live, probably not the rest of the crew who is like, maybe this was not a good idea. Decides to just fire on the ship out of spite.
yeah.
Oak is going to maneuver the arms so that they reach down and grab the gun that was firing and is going to try and disable it.
And we'll say like you guys just basically rip off one of the guns.
Yeah.
And at this point, you may or may not hear if the channel's open of like some squabbling going on within the ship, and suddenly like two parts detach and just kind of take off. So you could choose to focus on the one that's on the ground or the ones that are like trying to get away.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Batter up, anyone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Should we just line up a shot and
Yeah.
Which one are you going for? The right one or the left one?
Oh no, I mean the one that's not trying to get away.
Oh, like golf, like like pool.
Magnus doesn't know your
Fair enough.
sports balls. He's thinking golf, but he says better up.
Gotcha.
And there's probably a moment it's like,
Good.
you mean like this? It's like, no, I mean like the one with this and the small
Yeah, it's like, I
balls.
thought we were going for that one, not
game
those ones,
that game
buddy.
that you play where you take a small ball and you hit it with a stick and then you chase after the small ball and you hit with a stick again. I don't understand it. It's very weird. But
Could you guys just hit it? Like, seriously?
Like we're all in the like command center where we're all like we can all see each other and we're all trying to like we're all doing different sports
Yeah, we're
motions.
like, which
Right.
one?
Hockey
and
Oh,
sticks.
Is it croquet, hockey,
Yeah.
golf? Which
but then we all
which game are
figure
you
out
talking-
like the same thing.
Yeah,
to
the
do.
one. Yes,
So we're
that
playing
one.
polo. Gotcha.
Yes, polo. Only without a horse.
Then as one we bring down the sword like almost like it was like a golf club. And would it split the turtle cat in half, or would it like act like more like a club?
Are you hitting it with the blunt side or the sharp side?
Oh, that's a good
Sharp
question.
side.
Which side are we going for here?
I thought it would be cinematic if we
Try.
literally hole in one it.
Yeah, I
Like
think that'd be
just-
fun. Team Rocket's blasting off again.
Yeah.
With shit flying
Yeah.
up.
and then blast off after it, mostly to get it away from the gunship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
you
yeah,
do that.
we turn the sword at the last moment, and the flat of the blade catches it like just perfectly under the shell, and just like launches it out.
Oh, it's like Mario with the little shells, just like
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So that goes flying. The other two ships, one goes one way, the other one goes another way. You're not really sure what they're doing, but I assume you're still going after that middle one.
I'll ask. I mean, I guess we have a line to Elena, right?
Yes.
I think we should probably ping her and make sure she's not dead.
Yeah, I should probably make sure she's okay.
Still with us, Elena?
It's like, just kill my sister.
There are two smaller vessels. It looks like they're fleeing, but it could be a feint. Is your craft combat capable?
No, I'm trapped in here at the moment, trying to figure a way out.
We should probably beam her in.
We drag Chev back in.
Have in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yep. We should probably beam her in then.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
If we can.
Yeah, are you able to do that in this form?
Are we?
When she's trapped in a ship, might be a little.
Honestly, is that a good decision though? Because that might teach her some things that we don't want her to know.
I mean, we don't really want her to. Don't really want her to die.
I think we should save her. Like we're partially responsible for, like, at least like if we have the opportunity, it's even if it'll hurt us, like just this is something we gotta do. Like I wouldn't be able to really be like live with myself if we just let this go by and we didn't try at least to save her.
I mean, don't we want them both gone though?
One of them has
don't.
your families or part of your
Yeah,
family.
Yeah.
yeah, one of them.
So-
We don't. I know that it's not necessarily our relations, Liam, but those are still people. We still got to take care of them. Can we at
Does
least
she
get
still
like
have
close enough
Theo?
that maybe she can?
No, Theo is back at
Dog.
home, crying in the shower.
Like, Callie knows this, but Jesse is asking the group for the first time.
Theo's fine. No thanks to you.
Oh, thank goodness.
They probably grabbed somebody else for you though, so you're probably still on the hook.
She probably
Somebody
saw her
else.
dad. You probably saw her
Oh, okay.
dad.
Yeah.
She's right.
Oh,
Can we if we can't teleport her, can we maneuver the mech to a point where she could like dock and get into the safety of the mech, so that she's not just in a ship that's gonna blow up?
She could probably finagle her way out and then get into your mech
Yeah.
Okay.
if you're close enough. So that big chunk, the shell essentially is like just launched off. You got the other two, and you guys are choosing to kind of like take a defensive stance in front of that gunship.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you see,
Put one foot on top of it, hopefully, so it looks like we're like it's not going anywhere, and looking around to see like who we attack next. But what we're really doing is getting a docking port near where she is.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you will see that other ship doesn't look like it's coming back.
Okay.
And Jerry's going to mention, he's like, I'm pretty sure she just lost her allies. Like we're not down for this plan. But the other ship does swing around and tries to do a really quick run and gun of that ship. Essentially, and Jerry's like, it's a desperate tactic to just make sure her sister's dead, and so she can run and leave. Probably. So she will do that, but you're covering the ship, so you're basically your leg is taking the shots and thwarting her ability to actually hit the ship anymore.
Yeah.
And we'll say that pass gives Milena enough time to bramble out. And I assume you told her like get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she'll get out, stumble out, and then make her way to the mech, which will like shoot her up to the command center with you guys.
Yeah.
And she's a little battered and bruised. Like her ship took a lot of hits, and
How about this?
Yeah.
She wants her sister.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest we give it to her. Like literally pick up the gunship and just beat the crap out of this thing with the gunship.
Okay.
Like you want your sister? Here she is.
Here you
Back.
go.
Boom. Explosion.
This is a batter up.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, I thought that was cricket.
Cool. So you guys will basically pick up the gunship, and then the ship comes to make another pass, and it's like, what is happening? And just knock it right out of the air. It doesn't explode, but part of it breaks off. It goes off, and it crashes into the ground. And you can see with your sensors when you zoom in that like she's crawling out,
Yeah.
and she is alone. Everybody else took the other ship to get out of Dodge. They're like, nope.
Okay. Yeah, gonna look at Lelena at this point and be like, do you really want her dead?
Let me off the ship. She wants to go down there.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a little battered and bruised, but she's very determined.
And you're
Yeah,
down,
it's-
Scotty.
It's
Yeah.
your guys' fight.
She wants her fair fight finally. And Jerry is gonna be, and when she came on, she's gonna look at Jerry and she's like, I knew you were working with some to knock him. But Jerry's gonna be like, you don't have to do this. Like it's just like, yes, I do. And she'll go down off the mech and approach her sister. You guys doing anything or just watching?
I think Liv is leaving and following after.
Anybody else?
Are we getting off the mech, or are we just like watching up in the command center of the mech?
You certainly don't need the mech anymore.
Yeah, we can deassemble.
Yeah.
Hey Meg,
Yeah.
welcome in.
Hi,
Welcome, Raiders. Oak will go along, trail along behind Liv.
Your mech is like kind of deconstructs and goes in a nice row, and you guys can choose to get out or not.
Yes,
Gary's
it
gonna
is.
go with you because he just wants to be there.
Yeah, that's
So who is anybody staying on their ship?
No.
Okay. And so you guys will all walk out to watch. You just see Lelena walking out there with purpose, and she's not walking super great, but she's like I said, she's very determined. And you'll see her sister Liv and ironically also named Liv.
Yeah, I was
Livana.
this is getting confusing.
And she'll push herself up. And so the whole purpose of having the one letter off is to encourage more so there can only be one, because that level of confusion is super annoying growing up, having a name so close to somebody else. So just another added, like, you know, kill your sibling. So, she's going to get up and dust herself off and be like, yeah, come for your fair fight. And Elena she's not even going to say anything and just walk up to her and just like straight up tackle her. And they're just like brawling at this point, just like straight up. There's no weapons, there's nothing. They are just having it out. And you'll at one point, they'll get a little separated, and Livana, her sister, will run towards you and be like, help me. She's the bad one. She's the one that that wanted me dead, but I won, so she ran.
Or are you the one that betrayed her?
There's no such thing as cheating in the Veek.
She's
This is
be
the
like,
Veek continued, right?
Well, we're not Veek. We're humans, and we do have cheating, and we're not going to let you do it here, and we're not going to tolerate it.
You guys will probably just like, are you guys just like forming a wall so she can't, just
yeah, just blocking her from any of the ships or anything like
fight
that.
Circle.
Circle. Like, you guys either duke it out till you finish it, or you guys come to a consensus and you both walk away. But this isn't our fight, this is yours.
She'll hear that and be like, that's right, we can get away. Like, Lelena, we can be sisters again. I only betrayed you because I thought it was a trick this whole time. I thought you were going to betray me to make it an easy win. I didn't think you would ever actually go through with it. And, Elena pauses for a second, but she's not buying it, as she shouldn't. And, just goes up and like just punches her again and knocks her out, but she's like just standing there. She's like kind of trying to decide what to do. Because at this point her sister is down and she could finish her. But it's like, does she just beat her to death? She isn't really sure what she wants to do.
Consider that you've proven what you needed to prove.
And, she'll look at you. Like, she'll only come back.
Well, if she comes back, we can do this again.
It might not be so easy next time. Look, we're not saying that you let her get away. But does it hurt to give her another chance, even if it's in a more controlled situation where she can't just get the upper hand on you? I mean, you've proven that you're the superior one here. Whether you choose to follow your culture's typical finish her off and go back home, that's up to you. But it sounds to me like you were pretty willing to give up everything for your sister from the beginning. So, what does it hurt to try again?
Going back isn't an option.
We have a whole plan.
Jerry knows that she can't, because once they discovered that she tried to get out of doing the try and basically tried to leave, then
there's a whole wide galaxy and universe out there. I mean, I'm not speaking from personal experience, but from what I've learned in just the past few days, ties of family are important. I mean, you know this. You've used that to your own advantage. And as you so rightly pointed out, the fact that I have no ties is a strategic advantage. But it can be lonely. And your entire purpose has been tied up in your sister. Are you really ready to face a life alone and with no purpose?
And
You
she's
also kind of betrayed the other guy that would have kept you safe. So, I mean, traverse the galaxy and universes alone, or maybe rekindle with your sister. And
I can never trust my sister again.
Or,
I won't trust my sister again.
or, if Greer comes after you, she does look a lot like you.
True.
You could always have an accident if he comes after you.
I like this one's plan. It's just not really into. She's like she doesn't really want to be alone, but she doesn't want to be with her sister. Like that's done. She's no, thank you. She can't really. She can't trust her again. She can't get herself to do that. And Jerry will come up and be like, you don't have to be alone. Like I know what it's like to be not a Veek or a Valet. I can help you. Yeah. And she'll nod and then she'll be like, "You're not a Veek or a Valet. What do you mean?" It's like, well, I mean, I was a Valet, but now I'm on my own. So, and she'll just nod of understanding. She already knows what he's talking about just from that, and fine. And she'll walk over and grab basically the handcuffs that she was using for Jesse, and she's gonna walk over, grab those, and put them on the knocked out Livana and throw them on her.
Well,
I'm gonna need a ride.
yeah, where can we drop you?
yeah. Where do we get our families back?
And she'll look at Deary. She's like, "Was that a serious offer?" He's like, "Yeah, that was genuine." Like, okay, I would like your help, and so, he'll say that if you drop him off back at your place with his ship,
Yeah.
he'll take her.
Yep.
Oh,
I run over to grab that arm.
Oh yeah.
Just the arm. There might be a few like robots like just standing around, not sure really.
Oh yeah, you don't need
What
these anymore, do you?
Nope. I would just be careful because they probably have a limited shelf life when Greer finds out they are not in his service at the moment.
Yeah, good point. We'll stick him in a blast-proof cargo hold for the moment, but we have a friend who might very much like to take a look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it the right side?
Yeah.
Imagine only bringing the wrong side arm. And he's like,
No, I
"Oh."
ripped the correct side off.
So you guys will, I assume, get back into your mechs and travel back to the command center.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aces is just like, do you have one in a different size?
Toss Aces an arm and say, "Don't even start with me, Aces." Oh, but this one's green. I was hoping for gray. It's like, paint it.
He's gonna look at it really excited and be like, "You guys got me the arm." And
Yeah,
can
we love
someone
to give a
help
friend a hand.
me? Can somebody help me work on it to get it onto my actual arm?
Liam, you're good at that stuff.
Yeah, probably Liam again.
Yep.
I was like, yep, we'll get it on there.
We also have a number of intact drones, but you might want to prioritize disabling whatever their auto-destruct mechanism is, because it's likely that Guerrero will discover that they are no longer under his control and trigger their auto-destruct.
So he will definitely probably prioritize that over the arm. And start working on those. It'll take some time, but he's basically trying to look at, what technology is going into it, what their capabilities are, if he can somehow track, energy sources, how they work, maybe what facility is he's using to just pump these things out. Anything he can before, Career finds out and blasts these things. What about Gary and Elena? Is there anything? I mean, she's going to give you the location of where the families are.
Yep.
Yeah. That's right.
Can you tell us any more about Guerrero's plans? I mean, we know that he plans to have a slave army of robots. But is it really just as simple as he's looking to hide away in a backwater planet, build his power? Is he just a megalomaniac,
No.
or is there something more complicated?
Definitely something more complicated. Similar, so I don't know how much you know about the Unat, but they started off extremely physically weak and had to go through quite a lot of forced evolution to get to where they are because of where they started from. And the Beak, my people, saw that and interpreted that in our own way to create our own strife so that we would better our people. And it worked. No offense to you, she looks at Jiri, but the Beak are far more advanced than the Valet. Like we only have, our greatest minds. Our competitions between each other have caused, everyone to better themselves. Is it a perfect system? No, but the goal was achieved ultimately. And he wants to do that to Earth to prove a point. So he is going to create as much strife as possible on your planet to force you guys to basically up your game.
Why does he want to do that?
I don't know. You should ask him.
Just to prove a point. Interesting.
I don't know. I believe it's because the Unat have hit a plateau. They're quite advanced at this point and are not really, they're in a comfortable place.
So raw material that he can force evolution for, observe it, and potentially replicate in himself.
He didn't exactly give me all the details.
Interesting. I mean, it makes sense. If
I'm glad it does to
if
you.
you're psychotic, it makes sense. Well, so he plans to wreak maximum destruction, but not destroy everyone on the planet. It's creating a survival of the fittest environment.
That's what I got from it.
Interesting. Well, we had assumed that it was just rebuilding his robot army.
Now, on a planet like Earth,
No, it just seemed like, really?
yeah, this is the perfect place to prove,
It's so primitive.
people who are exactly people who are nothing, if he can make them something.
I feel like
They've barely been to their own moon. And they did that a long time ago and didn't go back.
And Aces is going to pop in. They didn't even know life was on Mars.
I know, right?
Get it.
It's so obvious.
I know, okay? We're still learning.
I mean, if he wants to make life on Earth hellish so that we get stronger, I mean, are we sure he hasn't been here for a while already?
I know, I was going to say. I've watched your news for a while.
Yeah.
Like, what can he do to us that's worse than what we're already doing to ourselves?
Well, perhaps has his fingers in many pies, but if he's looking for the next evolution of what humans are capable of,
It's orangutans.
it's not orangutans. I was going to say it's you all, but
Yeah. I don't
in the
think
broadest sense, it's some of y'all.
I mean, assuming he doesn't know anything about Jesse, I assume that he probably thinks that we're all somewhat capable.
So humanity needs a lot of people that are as strong as me.
No, they need a lot of people with gemstones to make them stronger, better, faster.
He became extremely interested in the stones upon discovering they existed.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Before he's done several small things, create small conflicts between your fractured countries and whatnot, but he's been building up other plans and other capabilities. You'll need that big mech of yours.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be bringing it.
But I suggest that you all have something that he wants. And the best way to protect your planet is to see that he is focused on you and not the average citizen. It might also do us some good to see if we can find the blue shard. At least, if nothing else, to keep it out of his hands.
Yeah.
You know, if it's so hard to find and it's blue, it's probably in water somewhere.
That's not how
Probably
it
can't
works.
see it.
There's another gemstone.
Oh.
Who says that?
Elena.
Elena knew that.
That there was an extra blue one that you guys didn't.
An extra blue one?
No, there's like a blue one that you guys haven't found yet.
Yes. He doesn't have it, does he?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
You would.
Well,
It's
as long as he
possible he
doesn't-
wouldn't have told me, but he would have known more about the stones. As far as I know, the first time he's ever experienced his power is fighting the gold one,
Yep.
and then you all showed up.
And to be
Yep.
clear, my thing doesn't work like their thing does, just so we're...
Well, it's
Yeah.
clear yours is superior in some way.
I mean, yeah.
We know. Take every opportunity to show us.
It's in my
We're well
playbook. I
aware.
have to. I have to. It's required.
What's
It's
the
the
playbook?
script.
She's probably gonna ask you. She's like, so how does yours work?
I'm a guardian of the primordial light. They hold but shards of a reflection of an echo of the primordial light. I don't
Is this
possess it.
a religion thing, or is this
No,
a real thing?
no. And I will relate the when light first came to the universe.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're like,
we're a manifestation of that. I don't possess
feel
it. It
quite as
doesn't.
bad as losing to that now.
Yeah.
Not exactly a fair fight.
Yeah, well.
But
All right.
combined, their powers are, once they learn, if they learn, to use them in harmony and in alignment with their destiny, their power can be quite formidable. We shall have to test that power against Guerrier.
I'll show him.
Yeah.
I'm always
Yes, we
ready
will.
to test my power.
Heck yeah.
Can you not send me in alone this time?
No, I don't think
you
we're ever going to
asked to
send
do
you in
that.
alone ever again.
Yeah,
Never.
no
You're
worries.
staying with us.
It's fine.
Thank you. They're scary by themselves.
We're not letting you out of our sight ever.
Yeah.
And Elena is gonna say, is it really just limited to you all? You can't find other people?
As far as we don't know.
He's looking at Jesse like, can't find a different person to...
I questioned it too. Like, really
Yeah.
bad. I still do. But
Destiny is
When Matt-
mysterious.
sorry.
It is often not what we expect. Especially
That's
so
an
close, especially so close to a pivot point. But we learn to deal with what fate deals us. They will hone themselves into powerful weapons and tools, and we will conquer Guerrier together. Or they'll all die. And
hopefully
then he'll
the first
absorb their
one-
power and, yeah, turn humanity into an unstoppable army and conquer the galaxy. You know.
Win-win.
No.
No, it's really not, though.
Wait, I'm missing that.
Yeah, I'm aware. Just don't worry about it, okay? Don't go play with your rocks. Don't think too hard.
Well,
Get you in top shape.
as
Put
much
the
as
rocks in my
I would
hands or the rocks in
love
my
to
head?
spend more time with you all, especially the pink one.
See, you made an
Would-
impression.
Jesse gives a nice wink to that.
Gonna look
You
at
got my
Zuri and be
number.
like, could we leave? Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you guys
Go.
should go. Good luck with all your stuff.
And thanks. And Kiri is like, thank you.
Yeah.
The last thing
he's
Jesse
excited.
says is, "Call me, beat me if you want to reach me."
Oh my god.
I don't have your number.
New phone, who dis?
So they're gonna leave, and as soon as they leave, you just hear this loud explosion come from somewhere in the command center. Super loud, sounds awful. But we'll end it there because it's 9:37. I'm sure.
Liam, did you just fart? That
No,
was
it was
horrible.
it was the bots. He didn't have a
Yeah.
chance to disable them all. Hopefully Aces is not blown to pieces.
We just got him that arm.
I know, right? It blows off the other arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh dang it.
Just the worst.
Cool. So hopefully you guys had a chance to do your tasks a little bit more.
Mhm.
I mean,
Just have one.
I think, yeah.
I did explore exclusivity and isolation.
And you
So-
were asked about
Yeah.
some things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one of us that hasn't done any of their tasks is not surprisingly Jesse.
Yeah, poor Jessie. Who's kind of not able to.
She was captured for most of it.
Yeah, they kind of didn't
And-
have a chance.
And it was probably Lelena
A
did
lot
not give
of
her
light
much opportunity
actions.
after.
Yeah. Just get all of those tokens.
I mean, technically, it's supposed to reset every episode, but
No. I didn't actually gain anything of value. But
at least you have an opportunity to defy expectations when stereotyped eventually.
Exactly. Whenever
Yeah,
Jesse
you've been
does
building
something
it up.
smart, it will be
I mean, you
defying
kind of did in the last
did with the
episode, 'cause
rocks.
you
The
came up
rocks
with the
was, yeah.
rocks. Yeah, that was a good idea.
But we hadn't
dig
stereotyped
it.
you yet.
That's what I was feeling like. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Really, Jesse's just like, yeah, I made friends because Magnus is like, we're never going to let you out of our sight. And Jesse interprets it as, yay, friends.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Cool. So
Yeah. I was
pretty good progress made though for the episode. Guerrilla lost basically is top minion,
Yeah. And we got an arm.
and
And
you
we
got an
made our
arm.
megas.
Hopefully
And we
that
didn't
can
kill
be-
anyone.
Yeah, we didn't
You
kill
didn't kill anyone. Luckily, we'll see if that holds.
I mean, Levena's probably going to die at some point, but we did what we could.
Whatever.
Probably, yeah. We'll see if Deary is able to work some magic in that.
Yeah,
department.
he's pretty convincing.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys got that sense that he's pretty persuasive and just like a very charming guy.
Yeah.
Cool. So we can go round and do our intros and stuff. Suppose to close this out. We don't have to go over everybody's tasks. We could do that offline, unless you guys want to see if
It might be interesting to
we
Just
can, and
at least-
then the stream actually knows what you guys are kind of working
Yeah, what we're
towards a
trying
little
to
bit.
do.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe as we do our sign-offs, do tasks as well.
Yep.
Should I go?
Sure, we can popcorn it.
So hi, my fair Kelly once again. You can catch me over there on Twitch and other social medias doing a variety of things. Today I was playing Jesse, who is a bit of a hot mess, but supposed to be the heart of the group, who is trying to do a handful of things, including demonstrate warmth and care to be crucial strengths. To understand someone's problem, especially if there's nothing to gain. Balance emotional burdens. Defy expectations when stereotyped, and to explore themes of empathy and cynicism. And yeah, other than that, you'll find me here on C Plus Content next Thursday. Back to anyone else. Popcorning. Whoever's ready.
I can go. So hey everybody, I'm Chev. You can usually find me hanging out in the streams of the people in the community. I also stream myself twice a week playing Mahjong, which is a tile/card game. So come by if you want to have, some chill music, some cat cams, some card games, and just have a hangout and chat time. So as Oak, I have a couple different tasks. A lot of it revolves around, trying to be a strong character, not just in terms of like physical strength, but also like being somebody that can be reliable for others, that takes on other people's burdens, and like tries to make himself useful to other people. There's not always a lot of opportunities, to do those kind of things, and he's also not very good at those things, but that's what I'm trying to shoot for with my tasks is, how can I be strong for others and for myself, how to be strong in all aspects of my life. So kick it over to whoever wants to go next.
I can do mine. I am 98 Tough Love, or Tough or Torf for some other nickname. You can find me at twitch.tv/98 Tough Love. You can also find me on Twitter at that same handle. And my tasks are a bit more geared towards eventually becoming more of a leadership role. So I have definitely been charging ahead recklessly, if no one is depending on me. I do feel like I rose to the occasion in calling my mech and saving Liam, and then taking on that other mech so everybody else could get up and lick their wounds. And then I did also express wonder, even if it borders on naivety, when I was speaking to Aces about the life on Mars, and kind of bug-eyed, really excited, learning about everything. And then the other two that I don't think I really have done quite yet is eagerly shine the spotlight on your teammates too, and explore self-realization and eventual leadership. So she's kind of getting there, but not quite fully there yet. And I'll toss it off to somebody else.
Okay. I am Govan88 on Twitch and Twitter, and just Govan on Instagram. One day, besides on here, will be a part of the stream again. My tasks, so far I've done most of them. Last time I talked out an issue with Jessie when she tried to run away, especially when everyone else is still in the middle of the fight. Also used a lot of comedic humor to diffuse tense situations. And then this time I felt like I sat back and observed who is doing what with whom, more so in the last little bit when we were talking through what we were doing with the people on the phone and different things like that. And I also proved that my role was anything but subordinate when I chose to sacrifice my mech to protect Magnus. And then the one last one, which is going to be very interesting in how I do this, is explore individuality or insecurity, because that's going to be something that I feel like my character struggles with, because, he doesn't realize that he's really that unique or anything, but at the same time, that's also could be his insecurity, is he doesn't think that he's unique. So, all right, and I'll pass it over to Zero.
Also, just a note for anyone that's familiar with this system or has questions about it. We are using Yellow's playbook, even though he is the color orange, just because he wanted to be orange. And I was like, yeah. Orange is kind of a specialty playbook that's a little weird and is expected to just be an unlikely hero that shows up and leaves. So we just kind of switched those playbooks. But he's
Good call out. Yep. I am Zero or Zero Daylight. You can catch me here a couple times a week, or sometimes at other people's channels, like on Wednesdays over at Duckwork, on some Fridays over at My Fair Kelly's channel, and on most Sunday evenings and nights at the Juices TV program and Lissa T channels. I am the Gold Playbook, and my tasks are mostly just being awesome. So displaying the shining pinnacle of my abilities for all to see, which is like every scene. Holding myself to a higher standard of others. Exploring exclusivity and isolation, which happened a lot this time. The two that I don't think I've done a lot of is marching to the beat of my own drum, because he hasn't like talked much about what he wants or whatever, but there's some opening for that for next time. And not getting too comfortable here. I mean, I think that he hasn't been tempted to get comfortable here, so I don't think that has come into play. But maybe in our third episode that will come up, so we shall see. Take us home, SJ.
Cool. I am SJ Sidekick. I do not stream. This is my first time running a campaign, so I purposely chose one that was easy. There's not even any dice rolling. It's a token system. Extremely narrative, but I enjoy it because I was a Power Rangers kid. Yeah, you could mainly find me here. I think maybe even as early as this Sunday, we're doing Delta Green, Twin Falls. So, and I'll be a player in that, and Deb down there will be the DMG handler, and no, Zero will be playing. Cool.
Yep. Awesome.
Raid Target is up next.
Yes. So awesome. Thanks everyone for joining. And thanks for throwing the raid calls into chat. We should probably get raid someone. I think it's probably Lissa.
Yeah.
She's playing the Borderlands 3, so we probably gotta head over there and say hi to her. So yes, do come back and join us same time, same channel next week for the third of our 3 episodes of Spectrum Squad. If you're new to us, we typically run a bunch of different systems, and we do them usually in, if it's not a one shot, we do them in like 3 episode blocks, just so that no one has to sign their life away. But if you enjoy it and we enjoy it, we can always come back for a second, or in the case of Teen Justice Academy, our Masks: A New Generation, a third and maybe even more issues or stories. So expect more. We have coming up tentatively, I think, though maybe not quite so tentative, on Sunday during the day, we will be doing Twin Falls, which is Delta Green, run by Chev. It is set in Willow Bluff, or at least it starts out in Willow Bluff. We'll see where it goes, which is our kind of shared setting for spooky stories. Let's see. Then we have this. Then we have Only Murders in the Stream on Sunday night, which is, if you think it sounds like Only Murders in the Building, it's because it's a TTRPG that is directly inspired by that show. So everyone is going to be streamers who are fans of true crime, and they find themselves embroiled in an actual murder and potentially targeted by the murderer. Lots of things on the calendar. If you are curious about what we do, the first thing you can do is to hit the follow down below where you're looking right now. If you are on Twitch, you can always go check out cpluscontent.tv, which is our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that. It's free. You can hit the little alert bell next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified when we have new content, which is roughly 24 hours after we broadcast live here on Twitch. And you can always go to community.cpluscontent.tv, which is our Discord, to say hi to awesome people and share your favorite IPs and share ideas about new games and feedback on the existing games and pictures of dice and painted minis, and talk about all the fun IPs that we mine for our various different stories, and get a look at what is on the schedule for the foreseeable future. So definitely come if you enjoyed this. I'm sure you will enjoy our community. So come and join us and hang out. Let us go ahead and gonna move my mouse down here and go ahead and set up that raid out to Lissa. Anyone else have any final parting words?
Nope.
Cool. Well, copy those raid calls. I'm just waiting for everyone to load up, and we will go over and hang out with Lissa as she plays Borderlands 3. You should definitely give her a follow. She is an awesome, awesome person. Cool. Well, raid is loaded. See you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.